Hello survivors and welcome back to the Free Fire World Series 2023. It is week 2, day 3, the final day of the knockout stage. My name is Daniel Lee and of course joining me is the wonderful, the mustachio AJ and Husky. Gentlemen, welcome back to the panel. It is going to be an extremely tense day because for teams in Group A and C, it's their last day of competition, and for teams in Group B, they're waiting with bated breath.
So it's really scary when your fate in the competition relies on the other 12 teams' performances.
I've been waiting to get done and dusted with week 2 since the end of week 1. Okay, can we get the day done already? Point rush is what I live for. Point rush is what I've been waiting for since day number 1.
And Point Rush is on the screen right now. So just a quick recap of the tournament format. So today is the last day of the knockout stage because next week we're going to kick off the Point Rush stage and then finally finish off with the grand finale where we find out who is going to be our champion for this year. Moving on though, the point system. It's going to be following the standard competitive format with the Booyah team securing 12 points for the round. Second will take 9, and as you go down, you're going to be ending the round with less and less points. And unfortunately, as the bottom 2, you'll take home nothing at all, but you can compensate with eliminations. Each elimination is going to net you a single point. Now, there is a potential chance that we could be looking at a tiebreaker today. So we do have these rules in place in case that does happen. So teams will have to be very vigilant about how they play today. And if anything, today's going to be the best performance yet.
Between Group A and Group C. So for Group A, represented by Thorat, Buriram United Esports, made in Brazil, AGG, Magic Squad, and Hotshot. Big day for the Pakistan region.
Absolutely. Of course, Hotshot needs to hustle to get into the top 12 and stay there. But for Group C, we've got the Loud Boys from Brazil. We've got Esports, the team that woke up yesterday and should continue the trajectory towards the upwards. Today, Expand, EXPS Osaka, as well as Foco Stars from Indonesia.
Yes, so that's going to be our teams competing in today's games, and it's also their last 6 games.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately for some teams, they are at the bottom of the bracket at risk of elimination. So it's do or die, get your points now, or you're going to go home with a lot of regrets. Now, here is the overall standing that we're currently looking at. And we're not going to care so much about the top 6. We got to look at 10 onwards because these positions open.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, GOW can't play anymore. They've got 177 points. So the teams in the bottom 6, if they can hustle, if they can get enough to cross that 177 barrier, it doesn't mean they guarantee themselves a top 12. It just means they stand a better chance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're going to kick things off on Bermuda, Husky. This is a map that everyone is familiar with. But speaking of familiar, we've got Buriram on the screen right now.
100% one of the best teams we have. Still is the best team, regardless of their position in the group stage right now. 8.3 average eliminations per round. That is out of this world. Of course, led by Jonah with his sidekick Moshi, one of the best clutch players in the entire world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, he's got that Tatsuya to make him even more annoying out there on the battlefield. In the past, you could at least try to run away, but now that Tatsuya puts him right beside you and you are out of the lobby. But of course, we've got Magic Squad as well, the Brazilians who have been making a lot of noise alongside Buriram Esports, and they are from Group A. And they will be, of course, attempting to overtake Buriram today, but this is going to take a lot of hustle, Danny.
One of the biggest rivalries we have, right? Cross-region rival, Magic Squad against BRU. Of course, Magic Squad is led by GU himself, returning veteran from last year. 2.5 average headshots also with the Tatsuya as his main character. But of course, when you compare these two teams' performance, it's easy for you to side with BRU right there. They're so much cleaner, they win more overall fights. But Magic Squads have shown moment that if they start to come online, they can take over BRU.
Magic Squad has been able to keep up with Buriram as far as the placement points have been concerned, but when it comes to the eliminations, Buriram far outclasses Magic Squad, 150 to just 112. But let's take a look at our top 3 knockdowns as well thus far. Peter currently leading the leaderboards here, 91 knockdowns in total.
91 knockdowns is insane, right? And a lot of those knockdowns translates into knockouts. So Peter, one of the rushers, and you think that rushers aren't going to be topping the chart, right? Yeah. You expect people like Dew to have a top 3 knockdowns, but Peter to don that first place is insane.
Absolutely. So I do believe we're going to be getting ready for our first game of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be on the wonderful, I guess, blue skies of Bermuda. We all know Bermuda. It's a map that everyone knows, and you can't really afford to make any mistakes because it is a very small map. Action is going to break out, but let's have a look at some of our stars that we're going to have to watch out for today.
And we have Don't Cry, Butsin, and Jonah. Of course, BRU, you can't have a must-watch without a BRU member.
Yep.
But I say Don't Cry. Yesterday, when PE Sports woke up, he definitely was one of the pivotal players on the team, right? They debuted in FFSI. They placed 8th overall. Not the best performance, I think, in FFSI finals, but it was kind of like a moment for the region of Vietnam.
Yeah, unfortunately, they faltered for the finals, right? In the group stage, they were doing so well. They were annihilating some of these top teams at Bermuda. We almost renamed that map to Bermuda. But looking at the performance ever since, they have dropped that and they have been taking up a little bit more of a stronger stance on Purgatory. That has continued into the World Series. But can they dominate that exact same map today? We will have to see. Our predictions are not too far apart, guys.
Relatively similar. I think, especially for the last day, some of these teams are really going to try and climb up that leaderboard. I think Loud is still on their path to proving themselves to being a major threat because it's a team that's very hot and cold. I love watching them, but they just have to work on that consistency. Try and figure out how to get into the late game for all the maps because they have some fire maps, but then they have some pretty chilly ones as well.
I think for Loud, especially yesterday was actually their best performance, 90 total points out of 6 rounds, right? You compare to week number 1, that is a massive improvement. You can say when you look at Magic Squad, yesterday was actually their second, well, day 4 was actually their second best performance. Their best run was 92 points on the very first day of the group stage. So I think overall these two teams are pretty neck and neck from the same region. The biggest worry is for MIBR. This team is a lot more inconsistent. 59 points on day 1, 14 points on day 2, and then 59 points on day 3.
Yeah, All Glory is just behind them by 5 points. You've also got Hotshot down at the bottom, who's 5 points behind All Glory. So it's pretty much neck and neck in the bottom 6. Of course, WSK can't do much since they are in Group B and they've been eliminated from the knockout stages already. But hoping for Osaka from Group C to make it somehow into the top 12 might be a huge ask. But at the end of the day, this is the World Series. We've got the creme de la creme of teams out there. You don't know what kind of motivational speeches their coaches gave them yesterday. Their managers probably promised to fire them if they don't make it into top 12. So somebody's going to hustle out there and we're going to enjoy every single moment.
I think if you want to set a benchmark for your players, right, just aim for 178 points because by that time you would go past GOW.
Sorry, wait, 178 points?
In total. That is the amount of points needed to overtake GOW. But like you mentioned, right?
I thought from today.
No.
You're
In total, right? Like, so if you get 178, you are guaranteed to overtake GOW.
Yeah.
But realistically, there's actually only one spot in the top 12 that is sort of free because every other team are still playing today, right? Expand PE Sports. So if you really want to get into top 12, just remind yourself that there's actually realistically one slot and you have 4 teams in the bottom 6 that wants that slot.
And of course, if all 4 of these teams do manage to somehow pull out magical performances here today, then they're going to be pretty much neck and neck, and getting just to a minimum of 177 is not going to cut it. But of course, that's speaking of improbable.
But 159 is realistic for some of these teams down here. I think, so of all the teams down here, the 2 guaranteed eliminated teams is Furious Gaming and WASK. They can't play anymore. They're already 13th and 18th place. Osaka, that's going to be a Goliath of a task to catch up because they're sitting on 109, and for them to even catch up to PE Sports, you're looking at about 30-ish points. That's already quite a lot for a team that is this far down.
Absolutely. I mean, because whilst they're picking up those 34 points, it doesn't mean that PE Sports is just going to be sitting down there, waiting for a couple of eggs to hatch.
I mean, we saw PE Sports yesterday, right? It's like, there's no way
now
they
you
flopped
believe
today.
me
Well,
when I said PE Sports was going to wake up.
They gave me something yesterday, okay? I needed something.
She's a realist. She needs to see it happen. And then
I know I was asking for a lot from Danny yesterday when I kept up.
Okay, I got harassed before broadcast.
Oh boy.
So you should have trusted me. Then they would have all said it was Danny that brought PE Sports up.
But here's the problem, though. I have this tendency to somehow curse teams. So maybe it was a good thing that I didn't.
Okay, don't.
You
do not put Hotshot on your top 3 then.
I was about to bring that up, right?
So we're going to get to the game here as we do get a bit of a scuffle here with Loud already starting with a bit of a bang onto PE Sports of all teams.
Bison Narrow, beautiful glue wall. Kawan catches Narrow's back, tags him up a tad bit, takes away 50% of his HP, and doesn't back away just yet. Wants to go in for the finisher, but gets blocked off. Good glue wall. Don't cry. Farmers from across. Doesn't get the knocks just yet. They can 1v2 this. And Don't Cry goes in for the force. Beautiful stuff.
Very well done. Like these glue walls early on, very valuable. I believe Kawan only has one medkit left that will be taken by Don't Cry afterwards. Collected. Just some free extra resources. Not a big deal for Lau. Nonetheless, we'll just buy him back. But it is an important point for PE Esports, right? As hot shot though. This is also a crucial fight for them. And actually, the entire team is going to be there. Expand trying to pick up some early opening points. Cobra was able to get it down onto Sajid. Now has to do with action, but doesn't have the health to deal with him, unfortunately. Backup will be there from Axel. That's 2 points for Expand.
Good trade back. Cobra's going to get picked up here as Sajid gets knocked down onto the ground. The other players from the side of Hotshot seem to have already turned tails and managed to get away from the sights of Expand, at least for the time being.
They scouted them. There is a Dinoculus, only seeing Anas though, so that's still not the full squad of Hotshot. The last one, Hasu, is actually going towards Mars Electric, so it doesn't make it any better for Hotshot.
No.
Magic Squad is just waiting there to make them disappear. That's a little bit of magic if you want to see one.
Just a little bit of magic, yeah. All right, so I guess we're going to be seeing Anas go down here. So a couple of teams that we need to sort of discuss, right? Like who, I know we've got our predictions, but let's focus more on some of these bottom teams. Who are we expecting to actually pick up a number of points on Bermuda?
You're talking about
I was
the bottom.
Probably AGG and MIBR. Right?
AGG?
I think these two teams definitely have a better chance, considering what is happening to Hotshot right now. They're down to just one last guy, and that guy is about to run into Magic Squad. I mean, I think if you're just talking about bottom 6, probably AGG and MIBR have better chance compared to Osaka and Hotshot. It does get traded back to Lau, actually finding in a very clean opening frag, and PE Esports are going to run away.
MIBR would be a good bet, but they're so hot and cold. You just don't know what sort of version you're going to get this time round. Loud going in for the pursuit here. They want to find a little bit of revenge. However, Sliver of Health manages to drive away from the danger. New K.
Oh my god.
Took quite a while to start firing at him, and Mexico snipes him from afar. M82B at its finest.
Man, misses all his shots and gets headshotted twice. This could be the wipe of a PE Esports, though. They have only one man left alive, and Mexico with the 86-meter shot to take out one of the PE Esports members. Thankfully, they're still in the round, but heavily crippled. And just to add on to AJ's point, I think MIBR also are going to be under a lot of pressure, not just because they need to get in the top 12, it's also because the entire region of Brazil is playing today. The Magic Squad, Loud, they're also in the lobby, so MIBR have to deal with their own countrymen and have to deal with, ASPS, Buriram. So this is actually, I believe, the toughest lobby for teams like MIBR and AGG who are struggling to get into top 12.
Yeah, I think I do agree. There are too many Goliaths in this lobby.
Basically means their chances are slim.
Yes, that's TLDR version, yes.
But
slim, but not non-existent.
You gotta give him a chance.
We've already established that there is technically one slot that can be earned.
Yep.
But 178 points, right? That is the bare minimum.
Yeah, and it's very doable. I mean, pick up about 40 points, you are pretty much in the clear. MIBR is very capable of doing that.
Oh, yes.
AGG is capable of doing that.
Yep.
Osaka, I don't know.
It's a big ask for Osaka.
I think it's a very big ask for Osaka. You need 70 plus points just to clear.
Yeah.
And then you need a lot more to maintain it. So I think it's a tough one for Osaka. But for the other three teams, I think it's very doable.
I mean, I want to say Hotshot can get it done, but they had a
rough early game.
Unfortunate start here. All thanks to Expand.
Thankfully,
still alive and kicking.
Thankfully, they're still in. If somehow Hasu can sneak into Mars Electric, get that revival point, then there's a chance. The problem is getting there.
I think he should be there already, right? I mean, he couldn't turn back.
Hopefully, he's there. Depends on where Magic Squad goes, though, because
Magic, why are you going back to Mars? Magic, don't do that.
Oh,
no.
wow. Well, there's no chance now.
No! No, okay.
That's also where the edge of the circle is, right? So you get to, guard these two areas.
Yeah, just watch in case any teams come in. Gatekeep any stragglers.
The Observer really likes GU, huh?
I mean, okay.
It's one good-looking fella.
It's okay, not just that. But I mean, at least for Gio as well, he is in contention for MVP if he gets the MVP for this round, right? Because we're still waiting to see anyone contest due for their MVP award.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is, never mind. Let's not go there.
He's about to say it would not happen.
So confident.
No, not that. I mean,
But that still also includes like finals performance, right? So this is just sort of like your head start. And even then, it's not easy to get MVP. You're competing with 12 teams and then your own teammates for the title. Good news for Hasu, Magic Squad is definitely going to move because this circle has gone all the way up north.
EXPS need to look for a huge game here. They won that #1 spot. And they are in the best position to reach there first if you compare them against Buriram Esports.
And Magic is still not moving. And also they're playing with Eric today, right? So definitely a bit of a different lineup.
Yeah.
I believe Eric has not played up to this point. Magic feels comfortable enough. It's going to gear up a little bit.
Yeah, because, I mean, if they clunk out 3 rounds in a row,
They'll
what's
still
going to
make it.
happen? Yeah, absolutely nothing. They'll see, like, they'll say, that's the real Magic. We can not show up the whole day and still make it to top 12.
I have to say, very, very slow game.
Oh,
And understandable, I think, for some of these teams.
For some of the teams, yes. For Magic, I'm a little bit confused by because the team's not really under much pressure to make top 12.
yeah.
No,
I
they're
mean,
not.
they're not under any pressure whatsoever. And nobody gets a bonus if they get the #1 spot in top 12. So
This
they're
is
all
a
right.
crucial fight, right? If you're MIBR, you have to
You have to.
somehow win this. And it's easier said than done. They do get Lost 21, so some trace in return. Actually, no, Lost 21 gets picked back up at the last second. Not doing great. MIBR actually was able to rescue Stark, but not Rigby. So if they get knocked out right now, it's going to be basically dog-eat-dog
Oh,
situation.
Pogo.
Pogo Stars wants to make sure that they get both of them.
Rough spot here for MIBR. Focus Stars.
Oh!
Shot down, couldn't get away. Didn't anticipate. Raz up on top. Woodpecker does manage to penetrate through his armor. Puts him down on the ground. But Hasu brings Sergeant as well as Anas back into the mix. And Poco loses Spies as well, leaving Liam all alone. And look at who's decided to join this fray as well. Thoran out of nowhere.
I mean, Pogo Star just flew into a Lion's Den and got wiped out by the Brazilians. MIBR saying a prayer right now. Pogo Star still has one more guy left, but Thoran is now the target. It's not going to be easy though. Thoran might have 4 members alive, but then Darko needs the reset from the Sonya. Can't find it though. He's going to time out in time.
Oh.
Mexico. Such great movement from this man. Lost 21 also gets picked back up. And Mexico secures the 6th point for them.
And Mexico mini Uzit that guy. Liam, beautiful on the rescue. Brings 2 of his team to his right back. But Thoran on the other hand, still in the skirmish against Loud.
What?
Drax. Couldn't go in that 1v2, but Rossi, 2 players down. Lost 21 going for the pickup. And North, the final survivor. Can he find a way to bring his brothers right back in here? Lost 21 makes sure that does not happen. And now in a 1v3, this looks like it's going to be the end for Thoran.
There's no way in, unfortunately. Lost 21, he gets picked back up, instantly
Oh
equips
my.
the Trogon and wipes out the rest of Thoran. This is Loud at their best.
Oh, no.
Poco Stars brought back 3 members that all got shot down again. This is Liam against the rest of the world. Poco Star walked into a death trap. They saw what happened to Thoran. This is not a fight you want to take, but BRU gotta face off against Osaka out of all. Team Esteban needs to help his buddy, but 2 of members of Osaka are already down.
Moshi headshot CQC. I mean, this guy's an absolute monster with an AC-80. Wasana backs away and Jonah secures goals. Yet another one for Jonah. Miniuze and just a couple of bullets away, and Wasana gets the secure, gets the knock, takes that point away, and one final player from the side of Osaka. They run away from Buriram. They're going to land straight in the lap of PE Sports.
The Hunger Games has already begun. Look at all these teams.
Oh.
It's feast and famine for some of these squads at the bottom of the leaderboard. Hotshot was able to bring the whole squad back, but
Oh, yeah.
flying into a dangerous zone though, and BRU, they're going to check every nook and cranny, and they will find Justin. This is the end for Osaka's run in round number 1. They should finish in 9th place, actually in 10th place. BRU with the finisher.
Wasana just hit in the corner. He was just waiting for that Sonya to time out 3 seconds. Not a lot at all to deal with. Smart plays as usual. But Loud, on the other hand, has managed to survive 2 full-on team battles and still look like they are ready for more at the very edge of the circle. This time it's going to be Poco Stars that they take on.
Poco Stars actually don't have much with them though. 3 of them members just got brought back, so they're working with very minimal equipment. They did shoot out that landmine that Loud laid at the entrance, but even then they are still corralled in this corner, and there are no teams that can threaten Loud at this point. Cowan just playing from outside as Moshi starts picking up kills off screen onto AGG. Lost 21. He's not going to wait any longer. Mexico helping him up. There's Lee already eliminated. Poco Stars in absolute shambles. trying to figure out their bearings. It's Lost 21 in the midst of things. Vice MKS actually was able to take him out. So Lau fighting a even fight. Raz now in danger. Kawan goes up. Great cover from 18 Deer with the Trogon.
18 Deer managing to take Kawan out of the equation. Now 2 Titans of Loud have been snuffed out already. So this is the time for Mexico to turn away from this battle and see if or not he can get to a vending machine outside the circle. This is risky play. We are on the 3rd circle and we are close to the 4th one as well. If he's outside, by the time we reach circle number 4, that's going to be the end of Loud. On the inside, on the other hand, we still have one final survivor in Drax, and then Bison's doing him well.
Actually, so well played from Drax. The fact that he's getting away with points, that is not good if you are a Pogo Star member. Mexico even buys Lost 21 back, so a breath of fresh air for Loud.
Oh, they can't find him as well. They lost their bearings.
Risky play, but it seems to have checked out here. UK down on the ground. Buriram United on the other hand, aiming to take the heads of AGG off outside. UK down already, so AGG can circle around, but hot shot, just making sure that they cannot rotate around the right-hand side. Esports down the middle, Buriram on the left, AGG stuck.
This is a buffet for Buriram. If they can start clearing on these teams one by one, get high. Look at how much distance he's close onto AGG. Anas even knocked Verito down. Action taking out Joel. I mean, AGG are not receiving any sort of a breathing room thanks to Hotshot. Vouchering some of these kills from afar, and PE Sports might be on a chopping block next as AGG wiped out.
Good shots by Hotshot, but just wasn't enough to take down your 2-time world champs. Now Buriram wanting to find that circle into Plantation, and they have to cross PE Sports. I believe 2 players standing right in front of them. Magic Esports on the other hand. Magic Squad on the other hand will find the players of EXPS, and a good nade connection with the sniper as well. Puts one down on the ground. Dew backs away. Glue Wall Melters dropping in as well. Casper has to stop this alongside Stop and Magic Squad. That right-hand side flank gets slowed down with a fantastic grenade. Bob 7 needs to back away.
Man, Boss doesn't really have much health to work with. He needs time. The Glue Wall Melter, not enough to destroy his Glue Wall. He's going to heal up just in time to take on this fight. Secondary from the side of the XPS. Casper leading the charge, but most of them are stuck in the building. And the first knock comes from MGS. Casper already gone. A rush from GU, but Stop Dew actually takes out 2 members on the side of MGS. In fact, Stop even gets down by his own members. Ice Grenade. Caramel! Snipe from the side, losing his pelvis. Loud actually gets wiped out with BRU off screen, but can EXPS keep the hopes of their team alive? The mid behind us! Cluster goes off! Right on time, they're trying to bring each other back up, but it's just not enough. Magic Squad just doing barely enough to take out EXPS.
That one final grenade, Bobs managed to take that away. EXPS, all they could do was just watch that grenade turn into a cluster and take away their lives. But Buriram now taking on Hotshot head on. Ana 69 can't do much with that. Action backs away, and now a 1v3 for the final Pakistani player. Can't do much against the King Buriram.
Final day showing up, 14 eliminations already. Guaranteed top 3 is Expand, Buriram, and Magic Squad. And Expand has already lost their captain. Too Fast goes down thanks to Yago.
It's all a stalemate now. Waiting for that circle to move. Magic Squad in a lot of trouble. Expand needs to figure out how can they bait Magic Squad against Team Buriram as they circle in towards this next safe zone as well. It's gonna be the final one. Axel already being teased by Yago.
Oh, what a nasty shot. Yago finding Crime and KS with a headshot.
Oh.
A disaster.
Huge.
In fact, Masana and Moshi that ends up taking everything away. Magic Squad doing the hard work and gets no rewards. Moshi with that wallbang. Finding Bobs. Magic Squad, you gotta cover your tracks to get to Buriram.
Buriram already on 16 eliminations, and they look like they want to make it 20 in this lobby. And they look like they should be able to pull that off, get high really low, and that Bison does check out. Gets the drop onto Eric, the confirmation as well. Cobra alive and kicking. He wants to chip away at the Magic Squad. Buriram on the other hand just waiting in the center of the circle for Magic Squad to approach. Jonah on the knock. He can trade this one right back out as Get High once again whips the Bison around. Mochi CQC, but Get High secures as Buriram takes away a massive booyah to open up the final day of the knockout stage.
Buriram, they're coming in hot for their final play day for the knockout stage, and I think it's pretty clear that they want to take that first place back before they head into the grand finals next weekend. So Buriram showing off the fact that they are the kings They are the champions for a reason, and they're ready to keep their crown for another year. If this is how Buriram is going to play on a normal day, every other team's going to be shaking. But congratulations, Buriram, for a fantastic way to open their final play day.
And this is exactly what I've been saying throughout the whole of the knockout stage. That's Buriram. When they really want to play, they'll show us some fancy play.
And to answer your question, Danny, this is actually how they play on a normal day. Whatever you've seen before that is not them at their
Not
best.
as one-handed, it's fine.
Probably, right? Jonah is probably playing with like one eye closed. No Moshi's playing with his toes.
I mean, if he's playing with his toes and he got that amazing highlight a couple weeks back,
I
then
wouldn't doubt it, actually. Like, he could play with his, like, I don't know, he could play with his hair and I wouldn't doubt it.
great. But I think we do need to talk about some of the things that has happened in this round, right? And again, I'm going to bring that focus back to the teams at the bottom of the bracket. And I think we had a couple teams that were definitely disappointed with how they placed in this first round. MIBR, one of the first teams to be eliminated. Osaka, not getting too many points themselves. I believe AGG was also eliminated
This was
quite
that
early.
Epic nade.
Epic nade. There was such a slow motion play as well. We all saw the grenade, and it was inevitable.
Like
it was going to happen.
It's like those John Wick moments, right? This slow-mo
Yeah.
nade, and then you have this slow-mo shot.
And then the circle wasn't making it any easier as well.
Definitely
the guy
not.
had nowhere to run. His glue walls had barricaded him in already. And that's just the risk that you run when you try to play these defensive runs inside of these houses.
And I think props to Hotshot because they actually found the best possible area to set up camp, which was the house that BRU took from them. And if Hotshot was able to hold their ground and somehow wipe BRU, that could have been their booyah, right? Because that was the only compound that survived majority of the blue zone. BRU knew that, went in, wiped out Hotshot without them even putting up a fight, and then the rest is history. MGS had to deal with Expand, and Buriram just needed to wait.
Yeah, but that said, I love what Hotshot did. I think this was a great round for them. It could have been a disastrous one, early wipeout, if it wasn't for, I believe, Sajid, who managed to...
Hasu, it was Hasu.
Backed away, brought those two revivals, and they still revived to get into the final circle. But let's see what Orn has to dig out of the champions.
It's an incredibly exciting day as we find out which of these 12 teams will make it into the final. Joining me, your host on Patira here, is the former championship and securing the spot in the final. First winner of the day, congratulations to Buriram United Esports. ยินดีด้วยนะคะ Can you explain why your team can win two other teams in the last combat of the first game?
บอกหน่อยว่าเราเอาชนะ2ทีมในเกมเมื่อกี้ได้ยังไงคะ
น่าจะเป็นจุดโพสิชันที่ดีกว่าครับแล้วก็พวกเราเหลือ4คนด้วยครับ
Because we have the better position and we have 4 members alive.
Very humble indeed. And how many booyah that your team decided will have today?
คิดว่าวันนี้จะได้บูย่าทั้งหมดกี่เกมคะ
ก็คุยกับเพื่อนไว้ว่าจะเอา6เกมเลยครับ
I talk with my friend that I want to have 6 games.
Wow, 6 games, 6 booyah, which means I will see you here 6 times นะ
เขาบอกว่าหมายว่าจะได้เจอกันตรงเนี้ย6 ครั้งเลยนะคะ
ถูกต้องครับ
Yes, correct.
Very confident indeed. I like that. And lastly, can you say something to prove that Thailand is the strongest region in Free Fire World Series?
ขิงหน่อยว่าประเทศไทยเป็นรีเจียนที่แกร่งที่สุดใน World Series ค่ะ
นั่นมันแน่นอนอยู่แล้วครับผมฝึกฝนกันมาเป็นอย่างดีครับ
Definitely yes that we are because we train a lot and we train hard.
And its result is the first booyah of the day. Congratulations, and hopefully I will get to talk to you 6 more times. Thank you. Give it up for Buriram United Esports, the first booyah of today. Who will make the second booyah in the game 2? Be sure to find out. Back to you, Shoutcaster.
So the first of 6 booyahs, apparently.
It's a pretty greedy kid, huh? He wants to see Orn for like 6 games. I mean, leave it for the other teams, perhaps.
I mean, it's a kid who knows exactly what he wants.
It's a man with focus.
Yeah.
Sure
but-
will and determination.
But you know, the universe wasn't just created by one person's manifestations. It's built up of all of our manifestations. So he better hope and pray that God loves him a little bit extra today.
Absolutely. And Mr. Wag is going to be showing us our statistics for the round, just so we sort of know who's been contributing the most. And as we can see here,
my,
Moshi going to be, well, I mean, all of Buriram plus Mexico. Mexico's going to be feeling pretty lonely up there. But I mean, look, Buriram had what, 19 eliminations after
20,
that
I
round?
think.
20?
Above 20, yeah.
They farmed
No,
the lobby.
They got 20.
Yeah, so it was massive. Moshi gonna be picking up the
My
MVP. I wonder if this is a bad thing because if Jonah got it, Jonah would have been sitting on 3 MVPs and he would have been contesting with Dude.
I mean,
And
that,
I would have been contesting how he got that MVP.
yeah, that would not be fun. I think Moshi, Moshi getting MVP, no problem, right?
Oh, yeah.
In fact, you know
He
what?
is the MVP.
You know what? I want a tiebreaker for the MVP title,
Like
and it's
a
just
tiebreaker.
yes, tiebreaker, and it's just between these 4 dudes.
Oh,
All of them tie for MVP.
well,
Then they have to duke it out for it.
I don't know if there would be enough games. Maybe if they somehow got Booyahs
they
in
got
every
all-
single round.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we might have enough. Like
Look, I think it actually is possible.
It
So
is
it's up to Buriram if they
they have
can
to
pull
do
that
rock
off.
paper scissors to
Rock,
find out who
paper,
wins. Like,
Yeah. All right, so starting off the day, we've got Buriram United Esports locking in 32 points. Now,
Hey,
AJ, they
I
need
got 3 for 3. I put Buriram on number 1, Magic Squad on number 2, and Loud at number 3.
actually that is
I'm on
true.
a roll.
wasn't that what I put? Did
No,
I?
I don't think so. You didn't put.
Yeah,
that-
I put Buriram, Magic Squad, and Lau. That was me. No, you put EXP as AJ. Don't
Oh
lie.
yeah.
I got the 3 for 3. You got the 2 for 3.
Look at these
Oh,
two with their
okay.
egos. All right, so
Fair enough, fair enough.
overall standings, we're not going to be seeing much change towards the bottom of that bracket. EXP going to stay in 11th place. PE also retaining their spot
Uh-huh.
in 12th. And not really much has changed as unfortunately for MIBR, Hotshots, Osaka and AGG, these teams not really able to build any significant distance or at least close that distance.
It's-
Ma'am, you are talking different land. In my land, Hotshot just went up 1 rank and they are winning big right now.
I don't know, they're
I-
not.
for
there's
me is-
not enough of
Hey,
a
as
gap
long as they
close.
climb it, it's
Yeah.
a good climb, man.
I think
But you're gonna climb to 12. If it's not 12, then it's not high enough.
it's doable. I think in the ideal scenario, you would want them to overtake FG in 1 game.
Yeah.
But if they don't and they get close enough, I think it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
next round, they will have to do that. They'll have to overtake FG.
There's a lot of teams they got to overtake though. There's 4 teams down there trying to fight for that spot. But anyways, after our first booyah of the day going to Buriram, we are going to be shifting our attention over to Purgatory. The potential of some very crazy circles is there, but it also means a couple teams are going to be looking forward to playing on this map as well because this would be considered their signature map. Now, one team in particular I think I want to mention is Esports. They did amazingly. They got a booyah on Purgatory yesterday.
Yep.
This will be a good opportunity for them to get those points and to keep their spot in that top 12, and it's going to put some pressure on those bottom teams to actually either deny them or just score more points.
They have to because round 1 wasn't exactly the best opening for
Yeah.
PE Sports, right? And that has been the trend throughout the whole knockout stage.
Yeah.
But that also means that other teams are getting pretty close to PE Sports. If this isn't the round that they score some massive points, then I think when you look at the teams in the bottom 6, there's a good chance that they can overtake PE Sports.
This woman says PE Sports going to do well. Why didn't you put them in your top 3?
Okay, honestly, I forgot to change my predictions, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But look, I'm fine with Loud. I can stay in my first place. They're fun team.
They did well, I guess.
Okay, so aside from PE Sports, we are expecting them to do well on Purgatory. How about our remaining 4 teams in the bottom 6? How well did they generally do on Purgatory?
I mean, MIBR once again the most decent team, but
Yeah.
that in no way sets any sort of benchmark, right?
No.
I think I want to bring
I
up
mean,
PE
it's-
Sports as a good example. Week 1, you know, you wouldn't have expected that sort of performance from them yesterday if you just benchmark them based on what they did in week 1. And I would love to say the exact same thing for the teams that are currently in the bottom 6 because your back is up against the wall. In fact, actually, you are 1 step away from falling off of this very, very high cliff. None of the teams want this, right? This is the world stage at the end of the day. So we're going to see some performances that we probably would not be able to, I guess, probably guess.
I think this is probably one of the closest we've had in terms of teams being able to qualify for top 12, right? I think the fight in the bottom 6 has not been this close for a long, long time
Yeah.
on the global stage.
Yeah.
So that adds even more pressure because you have teams who have not ever qualified for grand finals. Pakistan is a very good example.
Yeah.
I think this is the closest that they've ever been throughout the history of competitive Free Fire.
Yeah. Only Osaka is not going to be able to make it unless they have like 5 back-to-back booyahs right after this.
How many points are we actually expecting for Osaka to just hit 12, assuming that there's no points gained by the other teams? We're looking at
36.
36 points.
Yeah, it's very doable, but like you said,
It's
the
a-
rest of
yeah.
the teams should not pick up any points whatsoever, which is possible, but there needs to be a lot of luck involved. Yeah.
And I also want to look at, aside from Esports, I want to look at how Hotshot does in this round. If there's one thing we've identified is that Hotshot sometimes are able to find their way into top 5 without engaging in much combat, right? They are getting a bit smarter in picking up some scraps, and even though those eliminations don't amount up to too much, but it's decent points, right, for a team that has been struggling in a full-fledged 4v4 against the rest of the squad. And Hotshot did that in round 1. If they can repeat that for Purgatory, I think the chances of them making it increases ever so slightly.
And it might also depend on that flight path this game, because we do know that some teams, they really stick to their favorite drop points, and if it's a little bit far, they have to play it in someone else's territory, and that could spell trouble for some of these teams. But we are flying into Purgatory, our second map of the day. Boomerang secured their first booyah. They've challenged the competition and said they're going to be getting 6 today. Is it maybe going to be Boomerang's second booyah? We are just about to find out what the flight path is going to be, and also where this high tier loot zone is going to be as well.
Man.
We're in the game, and what are we looking at here, gentlemen?
Not the
Ah,
worst.
pretty decent flight path.
If BRU gets all 6 booyah, they just spoil the market.
Spoiler market.
This is how inflation happens, right? Because they'll be taking away a lot of big points that teams really need.
The Boomerang effect. Is that what we're looking at here, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gurinam's
Yeah.
not going to go for 6 booyahs. I can tell you that right
They
now.
will tell you they will get 6 booyahs, but no
Yeah.
team has been able to do that. Not even Buriram.
No, I mean, if they really tried, I
They
do
probably
believe
can.
they are capable of doing it, but I don't think they'll try it on the final day of the knockout stage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no incentive for that whatsoever, and they still do want teams to build up confidence and, potentially make that into a little bit of overconfidence by the time they get into the grand finals and then show up strong on the final day.
There's one team that always,
Oh.
force these fights. I was about to bring it up. It's actually Esports, right? We've seen them. They have the highest average hot drop scenarios
Yeah. Oh
in the
my.
knockout stage. And they're up against AGG, which is a team that if AGG gets this 4v4 dub, Esports will have to reevaluate a lot of their choices. Joel is taking a lot of damage, so AGG gonna get the first knock.
Oh,
But now
Nero.
it's Nero ends up getting knocked down.
Oh, what?
AGG finds the first blood. Lovely stuff. Starting from All Glory Gaming and Esports, it's time to back out of this.
And off screen, it looks like EXPS is trying to do a number on Hotshot, but they already have that one revival. They did manage to trade View out, and Caramel saved the day there. But of course, we'll have to jump back to that action in a little bit, because this battle at Central is
Osaka?
about to become a 3-way fight to see exactly who's going to get the most number of points.
Actually, if a team gets eliminated here, this is going to hurt their chances of actually either making it to top 12
Oh,
or
no.
staying in top 12, because all these teams here, they're all trying to compete for that top 12 spot.
I think the best thing for Hotshot right now is for all 3 of these teams to really, take a
Ravage
dig at
each
Take
each other.
themselves out.
Yes.
Yeah, take each other out, and then Hotshot just makes it in. Because AGG is in a terrible spot right now on the overall grand scheme of things. Osaka, I don't want to say it, but it looks like it's impossible for them to break into the top 12. And PE Sports, they are at risk of losing their spot in the top 12 because they're currently in the 12th spot.
It's very, very possible, right? The only cushion they have is if they overtake FG.
Yeah.
And it's going to start slipping away if they somehow don't make it out of this. It seems like they have the intention to contest AGG, and this is a double-edged sword. Like, Lopez sees this happening, and P-Sport, they're already taking a couple of shots. Nuke in the front line, actually starting this up. But we haven't even taken into account that Osaka can come in and wipe out PE Sports.
Oh, these teams. I think we're looking at a feast or famine situation. They're going for a full-on commitment, and this might only spell good news for one team as AGG lose one.
Yeah, great movement by PE Sports just to group up together on the left-hand side of Central here. Now, they do have the capability of either disengaging, backing away from this compound, or waiting to be the vultures, wait for AGG to sort Osaka out first, and then jump into battle towards the very end. Esteban's going to spot them out, perhaps call them out on that strat, tagging them from afar, and Chris with the overextension on the P19 as well. In the meantime, Justin finds New K. PE Sports trying to get away, but they keep getting dragged back into this.
Yeah, PE Sports, you can see that they have already started the evacuation. Not a second later, 2 of their members running away from Central as
Smart.
Post picks up Joel. So AGG left to be fed to the Sharks. There's a revival point. AGG and PE Esports might actually end up contesting that, right? It's a 2 versus 2.
But
Osaka might
Osaka-
get the last laugh off of this.
Saka needs
Uh-oh.
36 points more than, guess what? These two teams.
Oh, they get the cap already, AGG. Bringing their team back to PE Esports. They're left to dry.
But that revival point is still active though.
They get the vending machine.
I didn't see anyone at a vending machine.
Oh.
Don't cry, has to cry because that was a terrible rush.
I guess at least PE Esports still has one guy left. Yeah, you're right. The revive point is not capped just yet. How did they get the
Yeah.
revive? I feel like I overlooked something. Oh, there is a vending machine on top. I believe I see the icon. Or is it just me tripping? Whatever. We'll
Nah, I think it is a vending machine.
It
It's
must
just being
be.
blocked by,
by
the
blocked by
revival.
the revival point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty rare occurrence, honestly.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Osaka being a big fixer in this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Boram actually going to run into Loud. We're looking at 2 Goliaths here going head to head.
Well, Loud, you can have a word in whether or not they're going to be able to pull away the 6 back-to-back Booyahs here. Buriram United, a couple of glue wall melters laid out first for Loud to eat up, and they respond with the exact same tracks. Groza opportunity.
Whoa.
And Loud finds one good connection, but that's not going to be enough to get high down just yet.
And every time you see there's a member of Lao playing from long range, you know for a fact that is Mexico, right? Most of the time he's going to be running that Riptide Rhythm on the Skylar. We'll see if that is going to be put into effect. Although BRU, they are able to disengage from this, you can see that they are finding that reset, so UAV instantly sent out by Lao. They want some info on the side of BRU, and they have a compound to work with, so Lao actually has a better spot, but BRU, they're going back in.
Moshi on the left-hand side flank, but Lost 21 wants to call him out on that. They drop a cluster. Moshi boosts
What?
away with the Tatsuya. 34
Ooh.
HP, good blue wall. Saves his own life and baits in the rest of his team members to back him up.
Such maneuvers from Moshi, and Wasana gets a nade onto Drax and Get High now shows himself. Kawan gets a nade onto Moshi. Mexico, you need to help your team right now more than what you've given, but BRU actually are getting knocked down. Drax to wipe them out. And BRU, wow.
Oh no.
Definitely not getting 6 booyahs today. Wow, what a play at the end.
Oh my goodness. Loud wiping out the lobby favorites for this round and also cutting them down a notch. It's going to hurt a little bit for Buriram, but again, this team not really pressured at any point in time to get that top 12. They're guaranteed top 12. They're just not going to get 6 booyahs. Maybe 5 now, but we'll wait till the next lobby kicks in. But Loud's going to be very happy with this as well because they've taken one of their big competitors out of this situation. That's going to put them higher up on that leaderboard, whether it be for ego or if maybe they're testing some new strats. It's going to be up to them.
Oh,
but
wow.
we do have the next circle coming in. It's going to be more of a northwest circle here, meaning teams locked in that bottom east section of the map. They're going to have to start making a move real soon.
Yeah, Hotshot needs to be a little careful here. Thorad, looking at their position, there is a high probability they rotate straight into the compound of Hotshot. And I know for a fact Hotshot's not going to get too cheeky early. If they do, they'll have to deal with Expand.
I also want to quickly mention, I'm not sure if you two noticed, but when we saw that top-down view, PE Esports, you can see here, they've got one player left.
Yeah.
He's stuck on the island because, unfortunately, he does not have a free way into that circle. So if PE Esports drop out of this round this early with no eliminations, they're going to end the round with 0 points. That's going to put their spot. It's going to open up their spot to the teams that are still remaining in the competition.
Yeah, you basically lose that 1 round cushion for PE Sports.
Yes.
And Osaka, this is the team with the highest mountain to climb, right? They've
We
already
doubted them at first.
They started off the round with 7 eliminations, so it's already a very great start. But again, like AJ mentioned, you have to close it out with a booyah. It's not negotiable if you're Osaka.
And this is the World Series. Anything can happen. I mean, 36 points to catch up to top 12. It's not a huge problem at all, especially when the teams that are in the bottom 6 are struggling. But of course, we want to see if or not Hotshot can get out of this one. Thorad this time round. Grenade tossed up through the window first, but Hasu responds with the exact same RTS-50 in the hands of Ikal, and Ikal bags Anas with that.
Yeah, Hotshot needs to try and somehow hold on. They only have 3 members left, and this is a very important fight. They might have read the circle, but they're not in the best position to hold on. As action is already down as well. Those grenades are starting to really sting for Hotshot. And Ika has just wiped all of them out. Hotshot will bow out without getting anything this round.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Hotshots, especially after such a fantastic start in game number 1. So their position on that leaderboard is going to be left at the mercy of their competitors. And we see MIBR here trying to do a little bit of work onto AGG, but it's a long-range skirmish. No downs yet. Looks like we do have one down here so far. So AGG could be under threat if MIBR continue with this pressure.
AGG might end up getting wiped out as well. And if they do, it's a sigh of relief for PE Sports and a massive win for Osaka and MIBR. Grenade from long range to Trogon. Actually, it doesn't make any connection, but Rigby will just rush this, right? And Lopez has nothing, and this should be two members of AGG already down. MIBR securing some extra points.
Beautiful flying shot from Zhao and his Trogon, and MIBR, they claim the lives of AGG. No full squad wipe just yet. There is a survivor across this body of water for AGG. Still trying to get away. The second circle is not going to hurt them too much, but in a few seconds, it surely will start to do so. MIBR, they do have a lot of time to circle in towards the next safe zone, though, so not too much is lost. In the meantime, PE Sports losing 1 to Magic Squad, and AGG unfortunately gets found by Hawam.
Very unfortunate there. Very unfortunate for AGG. Not going to be able to add any more points for the round. PE Sports, though, they managed to come up with a good recovery. They brought some players back, so they are back in the game. Although it's not going to be an easy one. They will have to try and figure out how they're going to pick their macro back up. And speaking of entry, I don't see them here as of yet. But circle-wise, it's going to be, ooh, a bit favoritism here for Loud and Expand. These two teams already in that next circle.
Man, the amount of teams that Expand has to deal with is not a joke. Thorad, Poco Stars, potentially EXPS.
You're going to have to hope that the other teams cannibalize each other before they run into Expand.
And it's happening right now. Osaka against MIBR. Osaka are tanking the blue, but MIBR, they're going to take this fight straight to Osaka, rushing out of the safe zone. Esteban is going to be low. The Sonya pop times out. She goes down. They start coming through. Esteban needs help right now. Pitbull on top. Sonya will pop. Can't get the reset. Justin, he's going to crouch down. As Pitbull Sonya times out. Osaka brings Esteban back up, and Chris does get knocked. Rippy gets traded back. As Esteban also goes down one more time. Coast needs to win this against Johan, and she wins that one. Osaka coming out huge. Sonya reset for Coast. Pops the Sonya on the side of MIBR and finds the wipeout. 11 eliminations so far for Osaka, but Justin needs to go on a rescue mission.
Dude, Justin needs to get in that circle first because his entire team is down on the ground and the damage he's taking is incredible. Oh my goodness, Osaka on fire, but I think the team might have just taken some critical damage. But look at this though, Poco eliminating Thorad.
Oh, this is just big news for PE Sports, right? All of these bottom teams all clunking out one after the other. PE Sports initially afraid that they might lose their 12th position, but now a little bit more confident that they can catch up with Thorad instead.
Expand. Still holding the fort here, Husky, but we could be looking at some gatekeeping here.
You know, Osaka is the biggest winner so far.
Yes,
right? Again,
definitely.
they were the one who needed the most points, and they have 11 already.
Yeah.
That is already average. Any finishers right now will put them above average in terms of points earning. CXO firing at the vehicle of EXPS. Stop is just going to touch down right in front of him. Then Blue Wall will actually save Axel of all people and stop forced to back off. The pressure from Expand is actually pretty deadly. EXPS struggling to find a way in.
Good UAV scan. Close quarters. Got that! And Cobra almost got that with the Trogon. Tatsuya burst. He's trying to get that hop on over. Cobra a little bit too smart for this. Calls for a little bit of backup.
Gets clipped.
And Caramel does manage to get that Trogon connection. Backs away, a sliver of health left now, and this can't be saved by Axel if he does get that wrap around, and he does as Prime MKS shuts down Caramel. Casper gets the trade onto Axel. It's a 2v2 now. The captain is still alive and kicking. Prime MKS can't get the job done. Too fast, almost shuts down Casper, but Dew backs away. He's going to be the savior for the team of EXPS, if at all. Dew does not get this. Casper still has it, Mac and CQC, but the flurry of glue walls is blocking all of them out, and Prime MKS finally gets knocked down. Too fast. Captain, can you save the day? Answers no, as Loud shows up.
Yeah, Poco Stars also around the vicinity. Look at Don't Cry, he's running away. He does not want to be a part of this. For them, it's all about positioning. I cannot believe that EXPS was able to pull out that win, considering the conditions that they were put in. And that's the experience difference. Casper,
oh my.
his head shot out by Feist MKS again. For EXPS, it is down to Dew to somehow keep them alive.
PE Esports still hanging on for their dear lives. And don't cry. He feels like crying right now. He's caught out in the open. Barely any bit of cover around him. But he's going to stay as silent as possible. And wait for circle number 5. But
there goes P.
They've done more than enough, I think. You know, it's not the worst if you're in PE Sports position, considering that your only opponent is Osaka, and Osaka needs a lot more than what the other teams needed to get. So Osaka first top, this is their second top 4 finish as well. Justin's going to be knocked down. Lee finds that Drax also catching Esteban on the rotate, so Osaka has 2 teams they need to handle. This could be the end of their round 2 run as Lao Esports looks to clean them up.
Chris goes down as well as goes. The final play is standing, but that's not for long at all. A good opener as Kawan goes down, and the cluster finds the connection as well. Lee, can he get yet another connection for himself? Loud 21 just across a glue wall, has got the Bison, needs to wait for backup from the rest of his team members first. They're setting up a 1v2. In the meantime,
Mexico.
EXPS tries to rotate long way around. Raz taken out. Poco Stars. They're not even supposed to be fighting them yet.
Remember, Mexico has been the big game changer for Lao, able to get the knock onto Raz, so you slow down the tempo of Poco Stars a bit more, but you're not out of the open, not out of danger just yet. Poco Stars still can rush into Lao, and EXPS repositioning. Dew, unfortunately, lands a bit too loud on his feet, found out, and look at Lao, they're going straight into the middle. One of the members is going in for the rotate. Actually, it's a buyback. Lao getting that revive onto Kawan. Poco Stars will have to take on Lao head on.
Who goes for the first one? 8 India. Great! Tatsuya boosts and the Drogon backstab does get that one elimination for them. 8 India gets the confirmation as well. It is going to be yet another player from the side of Loud. Drax this time is disturbing them, and Dew with the backstab. Vice MKS right in front. Dew, can he pull this off? M82B spots one head, but it looks like Vice is looking to put him out of the equation. Raz in the meantime finds Drax.
Yeah, Pogo Stars keeping it together. Lao already eliminated, so it's just a 2v4. Dew misses that point blank. Needs help from Casper right now. Mexico actually is still around. Pogo Stars are going to split their manpower to deal with both teams at once. Mexico first to drop, so Pogo Stars now gets to kind of rendezvous with the rest of the squad to deal with the remaining 2 survivors of EXPS.
Pogo Stars have the numbers. EXPS, can they pull off this 2v4? Vice on the left-hand side flank. 8 India going in for the rush alongside Lee. Casper! Oh God! Gets the first. Dew with a mini Uzi. They make this into a 2v2, but Dew a sliver of health. And they get taken out. Pogo Stars get the booyah for game 2.
As close as it can get, Pogo Stars have a lot of issues that they need to deal with in that final circle, but they handled it so well. Mexico was a big threat. Dew was also sniping them from afar. 2 different snipers dealt with handily.
Great split coming out from Pogo Stars. I have to say, the fact that they didn't crack under that pressure. We've seen some teams where they're being attacked on 2 fronts. They start to crack, they make these little mistakes, they start to fall, and then everything turns into disaster. Pogo maintaining their composure, made some great calls, managing to keep the entire roster up and running. I mean, they earned this booyah, especially with how they navigated that late game as well. Yeah. It was very messy, and considering that it was a very open space as well, there wasn't a lot of compounds, not a lot of cover to work with, but I have to say props to EXPS for making that call to actually send somebody into the closest compound, even though it was going to reveal their position.
A great survival play from EXPS overall. I mean, I think they were put into sticky situations multiple times within this lobby itself, and they were able to wiggle out from each and every one of those situations. Can't say the same for Hotshot, though. The moment Thorad started rotating in towards their compound, that was already sealed as far as their fate goes. But Osaka had a fantastic run on this map.
That top 4th place finish with like 11, 12 eliminations, that is definitely better in terms of average, the average points that Osaka usually gets. Right now, they got to keep it out for the next 4 rounds. Perhaps they'll have a chance.
Perhaps they'll have a chance, but at the same time, they kind of have to hope that the remaining competition plays like this for the remainder of the day as well, because for these other teams that got knocked out early, the fact that Osaka's taking these points away from them is bad, right? Because every time a team that takes points that doesn't need it, that is leaving the remaining teams to starve.
The fact that Osaka is actually taking eliminations as they're getting these placement points, yeah, that's very bad for some of these bottom 6 teams, right? You're talking about teams like MIBR, All Glory, Hotshot, who haven't showed up as strong as Osaka is showing up today. And this once again brings me back to that point earlier on that we made as well. Just like what we saw in PE Esports yesterday. Just because week one's performance was, not really up to par, we can't really say they're not going to perform this time round, right? I mean, clearly Osaka doesn't want to get kicked out of the knockout stages.
The final lap for Osaka, right?
Yeah.
It's not an easy dash to the finishing line. They need a lot more than that, but this is a good start. Now the real challenge is maintaining it for the rest of the knockout stage.
Yeah, because it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You need to maintain that consistency, especially if you're in such a position such as Osaka. But with that said, let's have a look and see what our winners have to say in the interview.
It's only the second game, but man, let me tell you, that was intense indeed. But right now, I got one of the stars, Shai Brightly, right here with me. Congratulations to Poco Star! Congratulations! In the last combat of Game 2, Poco Star won one Brazil team and one Thailand team. Do you think these two regions are easy to beat and why?
Di pertandingan terakhir tadi, lo menang lawan tim Brazil sama tim Thailand. Nah ini menurut lo gampang nggak ngelawan mereka? Nah kenapa?
Kalau gampang sih nggak dibilang gampang banget ya. Ya gitulah susah ngelawan orang Thailand soalnya pakai otak banget ya mainnya.
Oke, he said not too easy, but need to beat more to beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, need to work a bit
Yeah,
more
yeah,
to get
yeah.
them. Not that
Yes.
easy, right?
Yes,
Not
yes.
that easy. But who is the key player of your team in Game 2 and why?
Siapa pemain kunci yang ada di game kedua tadi?
Kalau pemain kunci ya tentunya Faiz.
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 Poco
Poco
Faiz
Faiz
player.
is a key player. And lastly, any words to your enemy in the final day of knockout stage?
Sorry?
Any word for your enemy in the
Okay.
last day here of the knockout stage?
Lo mau kasih apa nih buat musuh-musuh lo yang ada di knockout stage hari ini?
Kasih kami lolos dong.
Okay, let me qualify to the finals, please.
Oh, with asking with humble, please. I bet you do. And congratulations once again. Give it up for Poco Star.
Yes, thank you.
Before I let you dive into some more action after the break, back to you, Shoutcaster.
Yeah, let Poco win, They deserve that glory.
I mean, even if you don't let them win, they're going to take it.
They've already qualified, right? So anything else is a bonus.
It actually is a bonus for them.
They've already qualified. Don't worry, Poco Stars. You got next week is the important week.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see that when the Indonesians really need to go high-octane action out there, they can get the job done, right? Because that just means that the finals is just going to be so much more exciting. But I still do not know, based on whatever we've seen thus far in the knockout stages, how the point rush is going to be played out. Like, I just can't figure out what sort of strats these teams are going to be using there, because the eliminations will mean nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
we both have our
yeah.
own theories on how it's going to pan out, right? For me, it's like teams will just play as usual, because at the end of the day, the more people you take out, the better your positioning is.
Yeah.
AJ's theory is that they were just going to hide until the very end.
Oh, yeah. They're going
Got
to
a
hide all the way.
very diverse and very diverse elimination leaders. But MVP is going to be 18 DF for Poco Stars, as he did get 5 eliminations, 2,000 damage, 3 assists, and 7 knockdowns.
The damage this time round seems to have been, it seems to be very low, is it not?
It's spread.
And I think it's also very, we call it like what, efficient eliminations, right? You are dealing.
It's a little too efficient, though.
It's too efficient.
And to be fair to Pogo, they are picking up some scraps, right? You can see that
Yeah.
they are vouchering the Expand versus EXPS fight.
Well, actually, yeah, right? Because they weren't part of a lot of these big fights. They sort of came in after everything had simmered down.
I think it's the same with the initial fight, right? Like PE Sports, AGG, like Pogo Star was also there. Oh no, that was Osaka. But yeah, Pogo Star did the Expand one. Then they had to deal with EXPS and Loud at the very end.
Osaka.
And look at Osaka, 18 points.
Pretty big for the team as well.
Oh,
Osaka
yeah.
going to be happy to lock those points in for just Game 2. They've still got 4 more games to go, so we'll have to see if they can accrue more points for the remainder of today. But look at the bottom of the bracket. Hotshots, All Glory Gaming, MIBR, these teams need points, and to only get 4, 2, and 1, you can't afford to end your rounds with single-digit points.
Time to
All
wake
these
up,
teams
expense.
had a one-game advantage against Osaka. Osaka now just took that away from them. Look at how far away they are from Hotshot. Nipping at their heels. I mean, this is just so doable for Osaka at this point of time. If Hotshot does not smarten up, if AGG, MIBR continue showing up like how they showed up on Purgatory, this is going to be a walk in the park for Osaka.
I think it's also going to depend on PE Sports, right? Because for PE Sports, their job today is to just stay ahead of the teams in 13 and below. So consistency is also going to be important for them.
Yeah.
Can you score enough points to just stay in 12th spot?
Osaka literally tied anchor to everyone else and brought them down, right? That round,
The crab mentality. That's what I was thinking of. That's kind of what's happened here.
it could not have gone any worse for the other 3 teams.
Not
Yes.
crab mentality.
You got to bring them all
Crab
down.
mentality is like when you know you're going to fail, you pull all of them down. But this one, they're trying to climb over them because they know they can succeed. But of course, we'll find out if or not they are capable of doing that. We're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, this action continues.
Hello, survivors, and welcome back to the Free Fire World Series 2023. We've just wrapped up our first 2 games of the day. Now we've got 4 more games to go. My name is Danielle, and of course, joining me is the wonderful, the mustachio AJ and Husky. Welcome back, gentlemen. We are just about ready to jump into our next game, which is going to be on none other than Alpine. And this is going to be a bit of a hot and cold map, mostly cold for a lot of these teams. It's a little bit chilly, but some teams really favor Alpine. But not just Alpine, some teams are really wanting these points. And I think I have this inkling of a feeling. We saw Osaka wake up in that last game. I'm wondering, is this going to be the momentum Osaka needs to go from 17th to 12th?
There is a good possibility if what happened in Purgatory happens again and Osaka gets a booyah, because that Purgatory round was basically Osaka single-handedly ruining the chances for the other teams to potentially make it the top 12.
Yeah.
So Osaka has started the chain of destruction.
But is this going to be a consistent thing, or was it a one-off thing? Like, that's the question we need to sort of figure out with Osaka, because it's not just Osaka. PE Esports, they're hanging in there. They're still sitting on 12th place. And then you also have Expand, who, as much as I want to say is under threat of potentially losing their place, I feel like Expand has done enough to so far keep themselves in a relatively safe position on that leaderboard.
Yeah, Expand has got like a 2-match advantage against the teams that are currently in the bottom 6. PE Sports has got half a match advantage. They've got about 12 points, right?
Yeah.
So if someone from the lower 6, they get a booyah plus decent number of eliminations, bye-bye PE Sports, they're going to start to hustle again. But, you know, what we saw out of PE Sports yesterday could very much be the case today as well. They don't really have to give us bombastic matches round after round.
But
they just have to get into minimum 5th placement, minimum 6-7 eliminations per round, and they're going to be in week 3.
Yeah, and Osaka gave them that lifeline in the previous game, right? If not for Osaka and a couple of minor occurrences on the side, the PE Sports would have been in a way worse position than they are currently in. And last game wasn't even like a great game for PE Sports. They just barely scraped by. The stars aligned for them. I don't think you would want that to happen one more time, because then it would be way too risky for them. Good news for Malaysian fans is that Expand, they're in the clear. I think there's no way that Expand is going to get knocked out of top 12 unless these next 4 rounds go horribly wrong.
I'm scared because every time we do this, for some reason, somebody threatens our statements.
Because we ran the numbers. Well, I ran the numbers, right? They are
Yeah.
currently 1 point behind Furious Gaming, so they should be able to clear Furious Gaming, no problem. But if they get knocked out of top 12, it means that something went catastrophically wrong for them, right? And I believe in the boys that as bad as it can get, it will not be that bad.
It probably also depends on how some of these teams are going to tackle these last 4 games,
Well,
right?
you threw Osaka in, right?
Yes, I'm kind of feeling the Osaka
Takes
train.
one good game.
Hey, they're feeling good. But no, so I feel like it's also going to come down to how some of these teams tackle these last 4 games, right? It's still do or die for our bottom 6. I'm wondering, is the option of actually hot dropping either Expand or PE Esport, is that going to be something that they have to consider? Because for them, right, if you don't eliminate them, you have an even bigger hurdle to tackle as the game goes on. But if you can get rid of them on the spot, then they're going to maybe take home 1-2 points max, and then you have the rest of the game to try and play catch up.
It would be a fantastic idea if you can guarantee winning that skirmish against Expand, which unfortunately for the bottom 6 teams, they can't guarantee that. Not because Expand is much better than them, it's because it's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Right? It's 50-50. They get into a hot drop situation. Expand picks up a Mac 10. Bye-bye, sir. Thank you for coming. And then they all get taken out. Best case scenario for them in a situation like that, someone gets away, they revive, but then they become like loud in some of these rounds, right?
Exactly.
Where they can have massive rounds, and they can also have rounds where they're consistently reviving to get 7th placement and barely any eliminations. So it's a very risky maneuver, and if you're currently in the bottom 6, it's not the kind of risk I would suggest you taking.
Yeah, and MIBR so far have been stopped by their own people, and literally by the
Unfortunately,
other Brazilian teams, right? Like they just kept running into Loud or Magic Squad, so I think MIBR also has to watch out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that the vibes are good in Osaka's booth, right? Even though that they are at the highest risk of not making it, and they have the toughest mountain to climb. But off of that round just now, they have basically closed the gap with everyone else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now it's an even race.
From 36 points, now 25 points away from the 12th spot. It seemed like it was a massive leap based on the sheer number of points they picked up when we looked at the match update earlier on. But when you go back to the overall leaderboard, these teams that did kind of clunk out a little bit early didn't walk away with, absolutely 0 points. They still had like 4 points, 5 points on their side. And that's all they need to keep doing to make sure Osaka doesn't catch up.
Well, as much as we can say, like, that's all they need to keep doing, it's going to come down to the players, right? Like, can they make the right calls? Are they maybe going to get lucky? Because for some of these teams, you don't know who's going to go where in these maps. So sometimes you're just going to have to luck out with where you go. But I think something I do want to also talk about, and Husky, you did bring this up, how we saw some smiles in the booths. Now, this is not something that viewers are going to think of, but just looking at the players before the match, it gives you a good idea on what the mental is like in the booth. All smiles is good because your team is cooperating, you're happy to listen to each other, you're ready to go. Once you start seeing some tense faces, straight mouths, there's a tension in the booth. There might be a little bit of conflict in there. Teams are going through some issues. They might work it out, they might not. It is influential for some of these teams, especially the lesser experienced teams, because this mental is something that they're not used to, especially at such a high level competition.
I was about to bring out Expand as a good example because obviously just now what we saw from them, I think it was a massive shift from what we saw from them last year. Last year, their first appearance, there was a lot of pressure on stage. Whenever you look at Expand as a team, you can clearly see that they were starting to get overwhelmed by the world stage pressure. But right now, I mean, they're feeling really good, right? They know that as long as they play average, they're guaranteed grand finals. It will be the first grand finals appearance on the world stage. So
they will be the very first team for MCPS to make it into the finals from a play-ins or from a knockout format.
From a knockout format, right?
A huge achievement for the region.
We've had a direct qualifier in the past because of how the format has been. You do have one team making it to the play-ins, one team directly into the finals, but any and all MCPS teams that have ever made it into the play-ins have never managed to get into the top 12 for the finals.
We've only made,
or the top 8.
Only 2 orgs have made an appearance because of a direct slot, right? Like King Fan, Farah, right? But like AJ mentioned, we've never really sort of like earned that spot through an 18-team elimination. So this will be the first time a Malaysian team does it, and it's Expand. What a time to be alive.
I don't want to take anything away from the past winners from MCPS who went directly to the finals, but it's a totally different ball game to, number one, do it within your own region and get the number 1 spot and the direct qualifier versus getting to do the job against all of these other creme de la creme teams, the best of the best from across the world.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are flying into our third map of the day. It's going to be Alpine. Let's see who's going to be picking up this third booyah of the day. Is it going to be a team that needs these points to make it to top 12? Or is it going to be one of our giants who, yet again, are fighting for, I guess, some people would say ego points? It would be kind of nice to brag and say, hey, we got first in the knockout stage because we played pretty dang good. But flight path-wise, it's pretty down at the center here. But look at some of these drops.
Where's Expand going to go? That is the main question, right?
Straight up at docks. I mean, they jumped out of the plane instantly as it flew over docks. And I think this is a very smart plan from Expand. They may have been noticing that not many teams do that, right? They just wait to get somewhere towards close to the center of the circle, center of the map before hopping on out. Now, this is a risky maneuver for Expand because their rotations have not been the strongest, but at the same time, a undisturbed start is going to do them a lot of good. But we cannot say the same for Osaka, who has terrible drop here at Rivermouth, just beside EXPS with the potential of meeting Magic Squad, who are going to third-party them later.
Man, it could all come crumbling down right now. Osaka, they have to somehow fight this.
Who hit jackpot with their loot as well.
Yeah, Coach is already going to go down. That's just absolutely swarmed by the members of VXPS. Esteban and Justin try to double team up against the members of VXPS, but I think the window has sort of closed. You have to start thinking about plan B because Magic Squad, they're about to arrive at the scene and there's not too much time left for Osaka.
Osaka's sticking around though, so we'll have to see if they come out of this or if it's going to be Magic Squad to ruin the party for both of these teams.
Starting to look pretty dicey. Osaka, Justin, was able to get due, but unfortunately, there's a trade back. Justin actually finds 2 of them off screen, but on the other end, AGG is also another team that is at risk. Got to deal with Poco. Stars Russ absolutely shreds the health bars of Lopez and Osaka. They are gone. They get, I believe, 1-2 eliminations max, but what a way to start this round. It's a disaster for Osaka. Maybe AGG can salvage what was lost last round.
I might have to just start putting all of my cards onto Mr. Waggers at this point because my predictions are just going down the drain here. But AGG doing a rather fantastic job securing 3 eliminations for them. This is a team that needs these points as well. So great recovery considering the not so great round in their previous game.
Somebody A124 the observer got kind of confused which fight to observe and missed out on pretty much the highlights of both those skirmishes. But it's all right. Unfortunate for Osaka.
Still brutal.
Yeah.
We can't.
I mean, they started off with 2 points on Bermuda. Then they picked up 18. Great. But the problem is
They went
teams
back
like
down to
Expand
2.
picked up 18. Sorry, they picked up 20. Expand picked up 18 overall, right? So
Just breaking even, really.
So when was the last time we see already play?
already.
They finally brought him in.
Yeah.
Get
that's
high,
true.
yeah. You know, get high. You've done more than enough. But when was the last time already play? I actually cannot remember. It's been a while.
It has been a while. There's just a bit of a quiet moment here for all of our teams as Buriram going to get the high tier loot zone, uncontested as well. And this is probably the last team you want to actually have the high tier loot zone. But hang on a minute there, we've got MIBR here raining
Yikes.
fire onto AGG. Now this is a competitor for them as well, so getting them
yeah.
out of the competition will be huge.
I mean, all glory. AGG is 4 points behind MIBR. It will be pretty cool for MIBR to take those 4 points lead
But
using AGG right here.
it would be pretty cool if MIBR somehow ends up taking out EXPS and giving AGG a chance. Because these two teams are actually in the crosshairs of MIBR, and Pitbull is not letting this opportunity go. This could be their chance to finally pull a hit.
I mean, if you're MIBR, you really don't want to be making so much of noise, man. Especially when you're split up, but on the battlefield. You want to stay quiet, get into the next zone. And this has just been the first zone. Yes, there are revivals now in Free Fire. But if you are in the bottom 6, you just cannot risk early engagements.
No, definitely not.
I mean, you just play purely placements and you should be able to make it into top 12.
I'm surprised that all of them made it out. I mean, AGG and the XPS,
Yeah.
both of them were getting shot by MIBR, and they're like, wow, this is not our fight, I guess. Both started backing off. AGG brought the whole team back. EXPS also did the same.
Just a reset, really, for all these teams.
Yeah. Osaka is hoping they could have gotten the reset as well.
Man, only
It would've
1
been nice.
point off of this round. This is not, I mean, it is a rough start, right? You had to fight EXPS. And
Yeah.
Arguably, people may say they did get a reset, a hard reset. Back to
Point-wise, yes.
they are
Definitely.
losing ways.
basically undoing everything that they had from Purgatory.
That's unfortunate, man. I mean, once
Yeah.
again, 2 points and then 18 and then now
One.
1. It's... You hate it.
They
I
need
mean-
like what, 50 points or like 60 to even clear
Yeah.
GOW. They have 3 more rounds after this.
Looks like Poco Stars might potentially lose someone here as we've got Buriram coming in. Do they see them though?
Oh, well.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, good dash actually. Still gets tracked down. I mean, Wasana is just accurate.
Yeah.
Almost got taken out though. 16 HP.
Man,
Did
man is faster
Max
than
out
light.
is Tatsuya.
He is faster than light for sure.
Poco.
Then light, I don't know, bro.
But he tracked down with dashing
Maybe
Tatsuya.
sound.
Which one is faster? Speed of light or speed of sound?
I think
You
it's
did
light.
not just ask me that question.
I just did.
My fart is faster. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
I do not wish
See,
to find
lightning and thunder. Which one? You know.
It's lightning.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right, so we've just got some stats on the bottom of the screen here. Most eliminations going to be from Gio, also most headshots, and 2 assists for Raz.
The Magic Squad is off to a great start for elimination points.
I mean, Gio's off to a great start.
They are
Appeared
not at
twice.
risk of getting eliminated, but
No.
Thorat needs to be really careful though. Although they will not get eliminated if they get knocked out by Loud right here. They really want to sharpen up some of their gun skills against Loud. So let's see if or not Thorat can walk away with a good number of points off of Loud here. It's going to be the RGS 50 from Kawan to start things off, just to scare them away a tad bit. But it is Loud that peels away from that skirmish.
Oh, look at Hotshot again. They found the circle, and this has been the trend for week 2 at least. Hotshot always manages to find a circle,
Correct.
but they struggle to hold on to the circle, right? A lot of
Yeah.
time people just runs them down if it takes away their compound, and
Yeah.
then the team that does that ends up winning the round. So Hotshot needs to figure out how to defend their site, because If they can't, then there's very little incentive for you to even take a side in the first place. You might as well just play late circle. As Kawan gets his leg shot off by Ekal, and that's the first elimination over to TR.
Lost 21, going in for the save. He fails, and Drax says, no problem, bro. I'm loaded. Buys his partner right back. And Torred with the first strike, so Kawan's gonna be low on his loot. Ekal tagged up as well by Mexico. But no knocks just yet.
Yeah, Mexico always manages to find some great position. Actually now,
Oh, wow.
the Orion, wow. That's one of the few moments that the Orion just absolutely counters the Sonya reset. Ekal getting absolutely sprayed down. Drax actually drops. North joins with the Bison. Now needs to somehow get out of this confinement though. Kawan will come and help his team, and North ends up being trapped like a mouse in the corner. Drax will finish off Ekal, and North is most likely going to go down. There's no help arriving anytime soon.
North out of the equation, and Loud continues to hunt down the rest of the players from the side of Torred. Question is, can they find it? UAV towards the back. The rest of the players spreading out to see if they can hunt down the final survivor. Vending machine's going to be covered first, and the revival platform's empty. But AGG, say your prayers, my friends.
Not Buriram of all the teams to run into. AGG, if they can win this fight, though, this would be massive for this team.
Oh, yeah.
Tall
But-
task.
But
Gotta have a little bit of faith there,
Nah,
Husky.
they're running away. They're running away already. It's a tall task for sure, right? And I think the worst part is that they are running into the low ground.
Uh-oh.
Sabaz already really low on that HP, and Moshi punishes M82B. Those glue walls mean absolutely nothing unless, of course, you've got that Nairi to back you up a tad bit. Glue wall melters. Triple on the setup. All of the defenses get taken away. AGG flanks around towards the left. Wasana meets them with the RGS 50 already. M10-14. One pop onto Joe, and he backs away. Lopez gets knocked out. Jonah up on top, and then high ground advantage with the Woodpecker assists the rest of the players. Moshi, M82B from a 5. AGG stood no chance.
The first few shots from BRU, I believe AGG received those chip damage, and they realized that, man, I think we just ran into one of the big teams. Starts backing off. But there is no backing up in that situation. You have no compound to fall back to.
They got down the hill as well.
You're going down to the low ground. It is, I mean, AGG kind of signed a death warrant the moment they decided to take that fight, right? You gotta be able to commit to a fight if you want to start it.
Oh, great setup here from Expand. Instant UAV on the throw. One player rotating in for Torred. And they do not have an advantage now. Torred do have a positional advantage against them with the player in the vehicle who could have set up this backstab. It is Darkall with the Mag 7 in hand. Crime MKS, does he have a gun to counter this Mag 7? Cobra should be the opponent for him. Darkall backs away. And it's a 2-2 split thus far, and Axel needs to deal with Lozzy. He has the Trogon, a good boost, Cobra! And the Trogon does get the tag. One more shot, and he finally puts the guy down. Good glue wall to block away the damage as well. It's gonna be yet another grenade that looks for him, but too fast is there for the backup. Axel does take down North, and Torres getting ripped apart by Expand.
What a rush from Cobra. That is the Cobra that we all know and love. The wonder kid from the very start of the major 2 years ago, finally showing his fangs. Oh, what a breath of fresh air from this man.
5 points as well for Expand. So again, continuing to solidify their place on that leaderboard to ensure that they make it to that grand final weekend. But hello, gentlemen. We still have 9 teams remaining in the competition, 36 players, and all the teams remaining, they still have their full rosters, but we are starting to run out of room here.
And Hotshot is in a rough spot right now. They just got shot by EXPS, and Expand is about to converge on their location. So Hotshot have to be ready for these then.
When has Hotshot's not been in a bad situation today? This team has really struggled to just find a safe spot.
I think they're good at finding a safe spot. They're just not that good at holding on to that safe spot, right?
MIBR spotting out Magic Squad of all teams, and this is going to be trouble for this squad as well. MIBR in the bottom 6. Losing this engagement basically means absolute death by the end of the day. GU flanks around, no connection. Oh, grenade launcher stuck dead! Doesn't find the connection. Drax does find Don't Cry. Esports getting down and outed by the players on the side of Loud. And Caramel finds the connection as well. In the meantime, Xiao trying to go in, gets the reset. Eric 11 alongside Bob's Magic Squad surprisingly losing this bout against them.
I mean, MIBR is doing a fantastic job, and look at that MGS. They're all trapped outside the blue.
But
Bob's
the blue
gonna get shot. Gio is taking a lot of damage. They gotta start finding a way out of this as Eric salvages this fight, gets that knock.
They need to
What?
finish
It's on
this
the
off.
repeat spot. It's already gone by Eric, saving the
Oh.
team. MIBR also drops.
I mean, it was EXPS, man, just sticking their noses into that fight, sniping from across the battlefield. Caramel sneaking away one. I believe Dew took the other one away. And EXPS ended up being the biggest winner of that bout, and they weren't even involved in that fight.
The Hotshots will be really happy right now because they're the only team that wants to get into the top 12 who are still in this game. Dew just got 18 deals, so that central part of the circle has just opened up a bit more. But the question is, how is Hotshot going to navigate? They have a direct entry into the circle, but they got to deal with a lot of teams.
Buriram gatekeeping expand. Loud looking for this next safe zone. Could safe expand here, but it looks like the circle's going to do a number on Team Expand.
Two of them getting knocked down in the blue?
Yeah, that's surprising. I guess they stayed in the blue a little bit too long. But yes, they are getting gate kept as well. So they don't really have much of an opening. Oh my goodness. Expand, not really the best way to stay in that circle, especially with only one player.
Do you see the prompt?
No,
So Cobra dies to the blue zone and they say triple kill.
Oh, hang on a minute. We're actually looking at a skirmish here with Loud engaging into Buriram.
MA2B, but the aim's just a tad bit off. One more needed for Kawanai.
So
He
many
tracked
blue
him all the
walls.
way. Just couldn't find the final connection. Drax backs away as well. Very smart move. Now, all of them inside of Assault. Moshi has got the RGS 50, finds the connection onto Drax as well. But Kawan accidentally takes himself out of the equation. Lost 81, gets knocked down by Moshi. They do a number all out, and finally Crime MKS out of nowhere knocks him down. Gets the confirmation onto Moshi as well. Expand still holding on with Crime.
Temporarily saving Mexico, but Mexico is all alone. So is Crime. It's still BRU with the numbers. And what was that tracking from Jonah?
Is Crime hidden? It looks like he's hidden. I don't think they know that he's there at all.
He's
oh,
on
no,
the
they're
way.
looking at him. No, they're looking at him. I do think Buriram are aware where Crime is.
This circle's gonna hurt, man. Caramel now, EXPS wanting to take Magic out of the equation. Has got the AWM. No glue wall penetration for you. At least not for now. Crime finally having to move. Has the Tatsuya
He's late,
repositioned.
too late.
Nobody spots
just
him.
too late.
Nobody spots him. He's still alive.
Somehow sneaks in.
He just got in as well. I think he had 21 health.
Wasana, come on, Crime. Can he get in? It is against two players from your champion team, and Expand stood no chance against them. Jonah claims that with the RGS.
It's a good news for Hotshot though, they're still alive. I think EXPS found one of the members, but look at EXPS, they're also distracted by Magic Squad. Hotshot has a clear entry into the circle if they want to do so. EXPS now got to deal with MGS, who are down in numbers. Eric and Gio tanking the blue, and EXPS keeping them away as much as possible. Stop and Caramel also decide to just go out of the safe zone to take this fight. They're gonna start getting the knocks. Stop is down. MGS out in fifth.
Yeah, Magic Squad the biggest loser in that engagement. Buriram on the other hand, they've got the circle with them. EXPS right in front. Poco Stars on the other hand, gonna get caught out in the open. Good cluster. Casper gets tagged up a tad bit. Dew gets protected. Ice Grenade doesn't tick away at him, and Dew manages to save his own life.
This could be the chance for Hotshot, 1 in a million as Poco is out. So Hotshot makes top 3 already. The full squad still alive. They're coming in from a flank angle. They have Buriram right in front of them, but Buriram has to deal with EXPS. Caramel charging in. There's Casper with him. Action shows up. Dew goes down. Casper also wiped. This could be the chance. Hotshot might be able to get the booyah for Pakistan, and everyone for Buriram is dropping. Wasana, can you somehow keep BRU in this? It's not possible. Hotshot needed around, and they have finally gotten it.
What a booyah by Pakistan! We've been waiting for this since day number 1 of the knockout stages. We didn't get it, but as long as we get it before we move on into week 3, we happy. Smiling year to year, each and every single player from the side of Hotshot. And that was a massive booyah to claim it. And the final team that they went up against, the 2-time world champs. Granted, they just came out of a battle, but it's still impressive nonetheless.
Remember I mentioned that Hotshot has been really good at finding these circles, right? They've been very good at taking advantages of reading the circle, finding a good compound, just needed to hold on. But this game, all the stars aligned. They found a good circle, they held on, and they got the booyah.
Yeah.
And they
clearly they listened from last week, right? Because we just kept begging them, stop getting into these early skirmishes.
Yeah,
It's
they
just-
don't need to do it.
They don't need to. They can get 5 or 6 eliminations from a lobby, and it's just so much more smarter to do it in the final circle rather than the very first circle, right? And this time, they're just playing to that advantage. They keep dropping towards the mid part of the map. Not a lot of rotation because just like Expand, that's exactly where Hotshot kind of falls short a little bit as well. So this move is brilliant. Expand kind of going for the exact opposite, and it's not working out for them. Dropping at the edge of the map, there's just way too much of traveling involved.
Too much traveling, and also just the chance of running into another team, right? If you're following that circle, you will inevitably run into somebody unless you get super lucky and you drop into, I guess, the quietest part of the map, which you don't really have that much information to work with. But yeah, I think I agree with the sentiment earlier on, right? Hotshots, they're really good at finding their position. It's just, if this team can actually figure out a way to defend against a team that rushes them in their compound, they could actually be considered a top-tier team. Because, again, Husky, I think you said it perfectly. Their foresight for figuring out where that circle is going to be, their positioning is fantastic.
Sorry, were those words for Hotshot?
For Hotshots.
Wow, it's just their first booyah, Danny.
Hang on.
Calm down. I mean, look, the boys have been trying for 6 days now. On the 6th day, they get it.
Yeah, I think
it's good to love them and support them.
Come on.
No, I just don't want to set the expectations too much.
Sure.
Right? Because I think this was a really good round for them. But luck was involved here as well. The circle was always on their side in this game. And it's not going to be like that for every single game. They need to make their own luck, and they just need to make a repeat of this. Land in the center of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that for previous rounds, right? It's just that they've been losing gunfights, and I think that's the biggest problem.
The gunfights. Well, we do have an interview with them, so let's see what they have to say.
Truly remarkable, and it's very unpredictable who would win in each game. But finally, we got another winner right here. Give it up to Hotshot Esports. Congratulations. This is your first booyah in Free Fire World Series 2023. Do you think it's a bit late, and will your team speed up in the last 3 games?
पहला बूया है, काफ़ी लेट आया है. Do you think it's too late या आगे के भी अभी 3 गेम करना है?
स्टार्टिंग में गलतियां हो रही थी, अपनी कोशिश पूरी कर रहे थे. फर्स्ट डे से आज अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हो गया.
We started a bit late. These guys started a bit late, but now we've caught up to our groove, and God willing, they're going to win and go on to the final.
Right, so you're confident that you will be qualified into the finals. And are you satisfied with your team performance so far?
अपनी टीम की performance अभी तक खुश हो?
Yes.
Yeah.
What adjustment has your team made since the beginning of the tournament?
क्या changes किए tournament के शुरू से अभी तक?
बस कोई चेंजेस नहीं किए, अपनी जो गलतियां थी वो ठीक की और खेलते गए.
So they're not really making any changes, but they're just improving on their, all the issues that they've had, and they're going to go through the final.
Right, so solving the issue and confident that you'll be in the final, right? Any words to your fans here who are rooting for you now?
घर पे fans को कुछ कहोगे?
बस दुआ करें, इंशाल्लाह बेस्ट दे रहे हैं.
Just saying, keep praying for us. We're giving our best. See you there.
Right, best of luck, and I hope to see you in the final. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Give it up to Hotshot Esports, guys. And now back to you, Childcaster.
I think Esports has a contender.
They might actually have a contender if they don't start picking up their feet for the last 3 games. Esports, come on, guys. Where are you?
Right there.
They're right there, yes. But points-wise, we should ask them, where are the points? Come on, Esports. But I'm really curious to know how small that gap is now, especially after Hotshot's booyah. We'll find out soon when we see that leaderboard. I'm really excited to see
Soon.
it.
I'm thinking maybe around 12 points away.
That 10-ish, yeah.
Yeah,
12, 10.
one solid game. I mean, they hit the booyah. That's big for Hotshots, right? I mean,
12 points plus eliminations. That's massive.
Correct. And I mean, not a ton of eliminations, but decent enough. If they can give us 2 average rounds, like I said, my benchmark for them is not really very high. The bar, that we set for them is not really very high. As long as they can get a minimum of 10 points every single match, guaranteed. Not below 10, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
10 every match, they're in the top 12.
Remember, the target is 178. You get to 178, you've already cleared the first hurdle. And if you are ahead of every other team, you most likely make it, right? There's only 1 slot And I think that is going to be the highlight for the rest of the evening. We're already halfway through the first 3 rounds.
Yes.
So 3 more rounds to go.
Halfway mark, gentlemen. But look at our elimination leaders here. We have Wasana actually sitting in first place with 8 eliminations from Buriram. 8 just off of Wasana. And our MVP is actually, ooh, interesting.
Anyway, Hasu from Hotshot actually has been one of the few players that always gets to revive his teammates at the very end, but also I think the primary rusher for the team, right? You can see him rocking the Tatsuya, and we finally get to see what the meta is from Hotshot. Not too much of a difference, running pretty standard comp, double Tatsuya, A124, and a Dimitri. There is a Falco though on the side of Ana, so get quicker drop. Not sure how much difference does that make, but some teams they do go for that.
Sajid wasn't really excited to play in that previous matchup. He could barely get into a proper skirmish. When he did, the damage output just wasn't there for him. But as far as they are concerned, as long as Hasu can bring them back into the equation and continue those kinds of mad rushes, they're not going to be breaking a sweat. Buriram United Esports takes away the #1 spot at the end of the day because of the massive number of eliminations. They're going to be pretty upset they didn't walk away with that booyah. But, you know, I don't really have to be too upset.
I mean, Esports got 2, Osaka got 1, AGG only got 3,
and Hotshot's got 18?
Hotshot's got 18. Hotshot's got like
18
what?
points.
12 points ahead of the next team that wants to overtake them.
I mean, what Osaka did in the previous match to catch up with Hotshot, Hotshot just said thank you very much and they ran away from the
It's our turn.
And look at this, look at this. They are so
151, 4 points away from P Esports.
I think, right, if the next few rounds go their way, right, if they get average, if they do what AJ said, right, an average of 10 points per round, they are guaranteed grand finals. They are gonna overtake GOW with that points past 177.
Yeah,
it is not a problem anymore.
It's not gonna be an issue at all. I mean, yeah, 10 points. You're gonna be at 181, 177 for GOW. GOW can't do much about that since they were in Group B. They don't play for today. Hotshot's gonna be in your top 12. But of course, you're still leading everybody else with the MVP count, and nobody has equalized just yet.
Only 2 teams can contest with them, right? Contest with you, and that's BRU and Magic Squad. Yes, right. CWG, they're not playing anymore, so can't contest that. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Dew is still holding to the MVP title for now is crazy. They did it in what, 1 week?
They did, yes, they did it in 1 week, and I mean, Dew hasn't gotten another one, so.
I mean, I dispute some of those MVPs, but
okay, sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What we can agree with, though, is what our next map is going to be, and it's going to be none other than Kalahari for map number 4. I know some teams are going to love this, and I know some teams are going to absolutely hate Kalahari because it is so good for certain playstyles, whereas for others, yeah, you're going to have to change up your playstyle, otherwise you are going home relatively early. But Kalahari, who's going to be loving this map, gentlemen?
Hotshot.
Ooh, and they just had a booyah round as well. So this is a massive opportunity for this team to run away with that 12th spot unless P Esports steps it up.
Unless they pull an Osaka.
Probably the biggest wildcard map, at least in this situation. Remember I say P Esports has a contender, they're 4 points away from Hotshot.
Yeah.
Who could imagine, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not me. I want to look at our predictions though, because I remember that my predictions for Kalahari was a bit wild compared to the rest. Oh, not really. Only Thorat is the wild card. Like, everything else is the same.
So you think Osaka?
I'm gonna switch because I was so drawn in by the last game. I didn't change my prediction. My Hotshots are going to first, gentlemen.
This is why you do your predictions one shot.
Okay, here's the thing. I've got a one-track mind. Okay, if Free Fire's happening, I'm focusing on the Free Fire. I'm not looking at anything else.
Yes, Dan.
Yes.
We understand.
I'm enjoying myself here. Okay, let me have some fun.
Well, if Hotshot does manage to pull this off back-to-back, I would be thoroughly impressed, but I am not gonna pile on the pressure on their shoulders just yet. I'm still just looking for 10 points every single game. But then again, when I asked that the previous time, they disappointed me. They truly disappointed me. They managed to walk away from some of these rounds with just 4 points, 6 points. I'm kind of gonna up that a little bit, 12 points, because when I asked for 10, they gave me 6. If I ask for 12, maybe they'll give me 8 at least.
Maybe.
You think?
Well, I want to change our attention to a different team, okay? Not just a team, a region in general. And something that we probably noticed is that Indonesia is just really good at Kalahari. So it's not just a normal
Yeah,
I know
but why-
Kalahari favorites, but I think
I
I'm
don't want to
jumping-
talk about them because they
Come
are already
on.
going to be in week 3. I want to talk about the teams that are really, really hustling at the
All
bottom
right.
here.
All right. Well, we're loading the teams into the pod, so we are actually getting ready to jump into Kalahari H.
I
So-
mean, we could talk about the Indonesians, but what good is that going to bring? They are going to do well.
Well,
They always do.
I'm going to mention them because I think they'll probably be the biggest threats to Hotshots, right?
Yeah.
Because Hotshots really wants to pop off this game.
Yeah.
And Indonesia could be the ones to sort of just sit there with the stop sign and say, sorry guys, you had your turn last round. This is our turn to actually get those points in.
So if you look at the top 4 teams on Kalahari thus far, it's EXPS, Magic, Torrent, followed by Hotshot Esports. So that's a high probability here that these boys pull this off once again. They're very comfortable on this map, and this is a very different version of the Pakistani squad. Instead of just purely playing for all of those eliminations, they're now just playing for placements first and then hunting down players later on in the circle, which is going to be good for them. But the fact of the matter is, Magic, Torrent, as well as EXPS are going to be hot, especially Torrent, because they haven't really shown up too much today.
No, they've
they'll
been
be hungry for that.
rather cold today.
Yeah.
Torrent has always been kind of like the team in the background, right? Most
Yeah.
of the time, right? Because they're not the strongest team when
They've
it
got
comes
12 points thus far, man.
to exactly. I mean, they're not the best team when it comes to CQC.
Yeah.
But when you talk about long range, they're not exactly top 3 either, right? It's a balanced team that I think shines the most when you give them the right circumstances. And I think creating those situations has been the challenge for Torrent. In Hotshot's case, right now, it's all about crossing the finishing line. I think finishing strong is the toughest part. You've done one step right. Can you close it out for Hotshot?
And I guess also the question is whether or not you get a good enough start. And it's going to depend on that flight path. And it is leaning a little bit more towards the western side. So teams that like to drop over on the east, they will either have to change their drop point or they're going to have to go for a little bit of a jog to get over there.
This could be bad news for Hotshot, right? Because this kind of flight path also forces a lot of teams to drop closer to where other teams are.
Oh, man.
Hotshot is getting tracked down right now.
It's going to be Torrent. So between these two
Oh, God.
teams, and Torrent is clearly the better one. Torrent definitely does very well on this map. But Osaka, on the other hand, meeting AGG, and these two just don't want to cut each other a break. Both of them struggling in the bottom 6. And it looks like it's all going south here for AGG.
And Osaka trying to pull it back. At least Justin trying to keep his team in the game. Doesn't have enough gold to get the buy. 400 is all he needs to get the revive. So again, a man advantage. Not the same for AGG though. They have no access to the vending machine.
They do buy back
Lopez
though.
actually was able to sneak in and get the buyback.
So both teams back to full, but the revived players are going to be back with absolutely nothing.
Just almost clean out this area, right? There's not much weapons left.
Well, Chris is down.
Sabas finds that, and again, Osaka down 1 man. A lot of skirmishes happening around the map. Honestly, for Osaka, they now are giving up a lot of ground over to AGG, and these high grounds control for AGG becomes a lot more valuable.
Action takes Lozzie out from the side of Torrent, so Hotshot starting things off on a very good note here, but we did see both those teams kind of split wide apart on that compound earlier on with the early hot drop. So we'll have to jump on over to them, but at the moment, our dearest observer is hooked on to this engagement between AGG and Osaka.
And Lopez somehow finds Cobra out of nowhere.
What?
And Pajaro actually also finds Stewart. So Osaka, unfortunately, gets traded back. That's the 2 members down already, but AGG in the danger zone. Sebas can't make it happen. Osaka with the wipeout, and now Duo decides he's now about to end the run for Osaka. There's 2 in a row. Duo skewers them with that high caliber bullet. Osaka on the run, and Chris is the only alive member.
And off screen, there's actually a 3-way between Loud, the team of Torrent, as well as
Hotshot.
our one and only Hotshot. But no, our observer still wants to stick to Shrines.
Gotta watch Osaka. They're down to their last player.
I mean,
Run, Chris, run.
What is that helmet? What?
I want to see what's happening on the other
The
side. I wanna see.
Hotshot got 3 elims. This
Yes.
is great.
I mean, Hotshot took down 2 players from the side of
there we
Torrent,
go.
1 from
Oh, they've
Loud.
run into Loud.
Okay, that's 2 of them down. That is not good at all.
Uh-oh.
The rest of them are not that, though, thankfully. Hotshot
Yep.
still has a chance.
Yep, so the team appears to have split up after that fight with Thorad, so just keeping their options open. Because if the entire squad run into Loud, I actually think that may have been the end of Hotshots there. Because Loud, kings of
They
CQC.
get the buyback. This is great.
Osaka's
already gone.
out.
Can't show that. Too graphic. Too graphic.
So 2 teams already out, Osaka and AGG.
Good news for Hotshot.
Good news
You
for
have to
Hot
be
Shots.
really happy if you're Hotshot, right? Your
P
two,
Esports as well.
yeah. Your 2 contenders, closest contenders, are no longer in the fight. Now MIBR is the next on the list. MIBR and PE Sports.
I mean, if PE Esports gets taken out, I mean, I think a Hotshot will straight up start dancing on the player cams. They'll stop playing at that point.
There's still MIBR, right? There's still MIBR behind them. Calm down.
We're still halfway through this day.
I mean, MIB are so far away from them, man. They need 5 points to catch up.
Do you know if they get knocked out, right, they only get 1 point for placement, so you can't dance, all right?
Not yet. We'll wait for a couple more teams to be eliminated, and then we'll consider the possibility of
You
maybe
can only
a
dance when you overtake GOW.
Oh my gosh,
EXPS
look at that circle. Hello.
EXPS might just help out Hotshot here by striking early at MIBR. Caramel does have a high ground advantage to scout them out first. The rest of the players from the side of EXPS slowly rotating around to catch up with him.
This is tough for Hotshot though, because you are forced to make the long rotation. But and there's a PE Sports, I believe. There's Thorad also. There's Loud on the way, depending on whether these teams also move. But if not, then we're gonna see the old Hotshot rotation, right? Where you come in from the outside of the circle, you're gonna be tanking a lot of that blue zone damage, and you have to start fighting your way through, which has not been their strong suit.
I think it actually has been their strong suit on Kalahari. Like, that's the only time we see this team play aggressive, coming in from the outside, going in. Because generally speaking, we've seen earlier today, they sit in the center and they wait in the center. Kalahari just seems to be a different situation. But look at this, though.
Honestly, any teams that get knocked out right now that is not Hotshot is good for Hotshot.
Yes, definitely.
Mexico with the advantage here. Sniper from up top. Lost 21. Double. Make that triple.
Okay,
Make that a
4.
quadruple.
All right.
All of them are shot.
All
My
of them.
goodness, lost. Maybe you could have popped one first and checked out where it went.
They're known for soccer for sure, but basketball, that's 4 air balls in a row. Learn from Dew. That's 2.
Oh, that's
okay.
an M82B, bro. What a penetration. Gets the knock.
Stop actually finds the knock as well. Oh boy, Casper finding the second member, and allow they're going to start backing off. Mexico just cannot find any space to provide assistance for his team.
Yeah, Mexico says thank you very much, but I'm going to back away, but do you? What a jump. One more grappling hook. Gets the connection. Mexico spotted out as well from the side of Dew. He wants to take that left-hand side flank. There's a revival point. And Mexico's not going to make it in time. Dew's already there. Drax on the left. Perhaps an AC-80 miracle from him will save the day for Loud.
But they got the buyback already, right? Mexico already bought his team back. Puts out the landmine in time. What in the back? Oh my god, Dew just shot his spine in half and cleaves him some more. Make sure that he gets the message. The 7 for EXPS.
Good thing Drax was available on the other side of the map, though, so buys back the entire team, and Loud are going to have to go for a fresh reset. But we've got Hotshots here running into PE Sports. This is huge because these two teams are literally neck and neck. So if PE Sports can get rid of Hotshots, they will keep their 12th placing.
Man,
Right just behind, and then M1014 finds the connection. Hasu down and out. And you guys are right. If PE Sports can put a stop to Hotshot right here, right now, they know that they've got a little bit of breathing room, at least for this match. Don't cry. Good combination with New K. New K from the back. Don't cry from up in front. Narrow finds Anas. Okay, that's about it.
They're already running away. Hotshot is already sending
nice to meet you guys.
That revival squad. One of the members was able to slip out of this fight.
And hopefully PE Sports don't chase after them. But this is good for PE Sports. They got 3 elimination points out of that as well. Going to be very happy. But this is going to be a pretty tough game here for Action, because he has to not only bring his team back, but he's literally in the corner of that map.
And
so
he has no money.
He's going to take a lot of damage as well from that blue zone.
And it's just the second circle, and the next zone is pretty far away. So he's got a little bit of time. As long as he can get to a revival platform outside of the blue, which presumably should have nobody there because the circle has moved along, Hotshot still has a good chance of making it back into the next safe zone.
Oh no.
Oh, he's going to probably run into Lost 21, the worst person to run into.
And he has no money. Like, he needs to win the fight against Lost 21 to have a chance.
He needs to get to a revival point to have a chance.
But that one is near Council Hall, right? Like, PE Sports are still there. The second closest one is like a no-go zone for him.
Yeah.
Gonna check back in a little bit. Magic Squad against Thorad. A less consequential fight. going in for the rush though. Lozzy taking up some space, but instantly forced away, so has to use a Tatsuya dash. Grapples on top. You have some nades flying in from Zalthora. Darko getting knocked down, but Bobs, I mean, what a shot from this dude. Starko is already gone. Bob's taking care of that. Thorad still can't find an entry in. Lozzy's gonna get doubled up. So that entry is gone. Gio just goes in and wipes two of them out.
Oh my goodness, the Drogon's just way too good in the hands of Gio, but traded out by Ikal. M1017 in hand, but can he stand up with just this gun alone? Mag 7 swapped out. Yes, he does have the auto shotgun, and Magic Squad makes easy work of that skirmish. EXPS, on the other hand, this high ground advantage at Refinery, and this next circle's pretty much on their side. And this bird's eye view should allow EXPS to at least get to 10 eliminations before the next one.
A massive, massive contribution from GU. Refinery taking control by EXPS completely, and this vantage point for Dew is so nice. And look at where he's looking at, right? The northern side of the map. That's where some teams are expected to rotate in as well from that area. So Dew gets to keep all of them in place. And Hotshot already gone.
Out.
Action actually found him, but I believe Lost found the reset with the Sonya at the end. So it's very unlucky.
Oh, super unlucky for Hotshots, especially after that fantastic round previously. So this is going to basically reset them to a position where they are going to have to keep on chasing PE Sports. If PE Sports are able to finish very well in this round, this will force Hotshots to have to play 2 extremely good rounds to even have a chance to catch up.
Just one good round. I mean, it all depends on what PE Sports does, and their track record thus far hasn't been super great. So Hotshot's not going to be breaking a sweat just yet. I mean, we still have 8 more teams out here. PE Sports is pretty good in terms of a position at command post, but this next circle will determine how long they survive.
Oh God,
and it looks
look
like
at that.
Not long at all, because they have to get through Poco. That might be a skirmish where they are going to be held at a corner. Magic Squad's going to find that rotation as well. Magic Squad cannot go to the left because Buriram will open fire at them. They'll have to take the defensive position on the right, which is where Poco's moving. So PE is in a lot of trouble.
You just scan from Magic Squad with the binoculars. They actually don't see anyone. A mammoth circle is always very tough to fight in. The terrain, the compound doesn't make it easy. You know, your line of sight gets affected. MIBR actually given a breath of fresh air, right? They now have a chance to catch up to Hotshot and potentially overtake them just by placement points alone. But they gotta get to Poco Stars though, and they have the high ground. Pitbull sees all of this.
Let's see if MIBR can pick up some eliminations here as well. Just off the top of it, never mind, we're going to have this engagement here first. We'll have a look at how far away MIBR is from the remaining bottom teams. But let's see if they can actually finish Poco off, or if Poco is going to end the run here for MIBR.
Mexico down, EXPS finding Loud. And it looks like the scout has been done and dusted with. Loud slowly peeling away from EXPS. The circle forcing them both towards the exact same spot. They had the exact same idea. Now they'll have to fight for the defensive position. In the meantime, MIBR stuck in a similar situation against Poco. Poco wants to breach their compound, and MIBR has the defensive advantage.
Yeah, Raz is down, so he needs help from his teammate 18 there, trying to keep his buddy safe, but it's just not possible. Raz cooking up the nade, but ends up having that nade bouncing back towards himself, and then gets hit by Stark's nade instead. 10 million things going on for Poco Stars in a blink of an eye. MIBR finding 3 eliminations.
But look at this, they
Loud
Loud
has shown that, oh boy, trying to rain on the parade of their own people.
This is a huge opportunity for PE Sports because Poco was the one that was going to gatekeep them. Now Poco's down in numbers. In the meantime, MGS finds PE off screen. And that's going to be a little bit of trouble for the team that's trying to run away from Hotshot. Loud, on the other hand, as loud as they want to be, they can't find the players on the side of MIBR. Fully barricaded all of those windows up on top. MIBR is in a safe spot, at least for now.
BRU, they're showing up. BRU, one of the few teams that does not care how many enemies are in front of them. Rigby does find Mexico though, but as I feel like we've seen this last year where the Brazilians take each other out, and then BRU just claims all of them. Look at that! Jonah just absolutely wipes the floor and gets 4 points in total for his team.
Jonah, what in the world? All he needed to do was just chuck a couple of grenades and walk away smiling.
Press the delete button there.
My goodness. Expand though. EXPS, they want to claim this high ground advantage at Mammoth. EXPS already widespread out, already Cobra gets tagged up first. 2 players on the side of EXPS. Stop alongside Casper. Just being a tad bit annoying, and Stop makes one wrong move, falls to the bottom. MIBR out of the equation. Due with the M82B, finds a couple of shots onto Cobra. Too fast, backs him up, but the captain just could not take Due out of the equation.
And these 1v1 are not in favor of Expand at all. Due actually gets the reset, I believe, at the very end, and Expand cleaned up by EXPS without putting up much of a fight. And EXPS, they don't have much time to reset though. Magic Squad nearby, BRU, they have arrived.
Expand currently is the only team in the top 12 that does not have a Booyah to their name. Can they break that statement by the end of the day? We'll have to wait, unfortunately, because for this lobby they are downed and outed already. Magic Squad will need to deal with Buriram, but they do have a positional advantage here with that high ground that Bobs just gave away as he tries to back away towards Yago, leaving Buriram to deal with EXPS now.
If you have Magic Squad making the right choice, let the Thai teams cannibalize each other, just like what happened with the Brazilian squad early on. BRU needs to find a bit more of that space, but they are fine playing this low ground for now, but not for long, because Magic Squad have control of the circle.
It's a smart move by Magic. Instead of going for the eliminations, they went for the placement, and now they get to set up their fortress of defense. Poco, on the other hand, just surviving in fires, but the circle's going to start moving now, and he's expecting the chaos to be that cover for him as he rotates in.
EXPS, they are just going to run into Magic Squad, then force Magic Squad away. That's already 2 knocks. Star finding Yago on the way down. Here comes the rest of EXPS. Yago stands back up, goes right down as fast as he stood up. Stop finding the second for his team already. EXPS about to claim 4 MVP titles for Due, as Magic Squad stood no chance.
No chance at all. Now, if EXPS gets this, Due's definitely going to walk away with the 10,000 USD, but I think Buriram wants to stick your finger in this pot, mix it around, and perhaps change that MVP prize to one of their own names. Shots from Moshi, finding the connection onto Caramel, backed up by Stop, though the two of them back away. And this flank is going to be deadly for Buriram. Moshi is just distracting everyone whilst the rest of them go over.
If Fives takes out Moshi, this could be good news for EXPS. I believe Moshi did see him, but his attention got drawn away by EXPS. Already from the high ground, making it tough for EXPS to get onto it. Casper already sniped down. Moshi now pops up his head, taken down by Fives MKS. The wild card of this final circle. Poco still staying alive in this match.
Oh, Poco punishes the flank for the side of Buriram, but Buriram already had that long wraparound. And now the disadvantage, the circle leaves them high and dry. Buriram needs to move. EXPS, though, they do have a slight advantage here. Jonah down at the bottom.
Fives actually failed his first grappling. That could have been something, but I believe he has one more, so he's going to be taking it slow. Let the other two teams take themselves off. Fives now makes it onto the high ground. You can see here the grapple there. Just keep yourself silent. Do not let anyone see you. Fives with the biggest flank in Free Fire. Might steal this Booyah away. It's a 1v1 for everyone. Jonah to stand back up, and look at that already. He's not going to have that glue off for long. Jonah needs to reposition. Caramel also joining in. They're just pelting already with all their nade, and already is still safe, but Caramel shows himself. Fives sees the pro, knocks him down! Fives! The opportunities of Poco wipes out EXPS, but it's him against 2 members of BRU.
And that makes it no MVP for Due, because unfortunately for EXPS, they don't get the Booyah in this round. Jonah jumps on up, but that animation does nerf him a tad bit. Bison in the hands of Fives. Opportunity to chuck a grenade at them as well. Fives has got a great position to work with and already doesn't have an opportunity to jump up just yet. And if they do, they give away that advantage. So they both need to get up to Fives' level at the same time to confuse him.
Here's the Bison. Jonah pops his head out already. Comes in for the rush as well. Glue off. Instantly put out Jonah with a transfer reposition. Fives, where are you going to rush to? Needs the 1v1. Drops low. And Jonah gets the knock at the very end. BRU a bit too smart with their wits. And another Booyah in the back.
Very close there. Fives, if he was able to snap onto their heads and get the immediate knockdown, then maybe, just maybe, Poco would have been able to secure that Booyah. But Buriram, amazing execution in that very tense moment, going up together at the exact same time and managing to go for that flank. Great play. AJ, I see you shaking your head.
No, Fives literally took that away from Due, right? Due was just so excited. He was on a rampage in this lobby. EXPS was having such good fun. and then Pais came out of nowhere. Initially, we thought he was going to punish the team of Buriram by shutting down the flanker Moshi, but he went ahead to stick his nose into both of their team's performance. And unfortunately for EXPS, they'll just have to walk away with the #1 spot, but no Booyah, no MVP.
It's fine. D's in a safe place.
Definitely, he also got a bit
Maybe,
lucky.
actually. I'm not sure.
I mean, Faiz got a bit lucky because there was a split second where he was right beside Moshi,
Yeah.
but I think Moshi got distracted by EXPS because that could have been the end for Poco. Either way, I think he walked away with, 2 eliminations and a second place finish. So just one of those games for Poco, not a big deal. But for the teams that wants to get the top 12, it is rough. I mean, PE Esports, MIBR, despite these two teams surviving the longest, compared to the rest of their direct competitors, they also didn't survive that long.
Yeah, not many resources distributed for the bottom 6 teams in this round, unfortunately. Especially considering that some of the teams that needed those points, this was supposed to be the map for Hotshots, for example. That team got massively outplayed in the early game, crippled, eliminated, were not able to bring themselves up, but I guess at this point the race for top 6 is sort of a stalemate. The Kalahari, we're going to have to reset for those last 2 games today because it's the last 2 chances for our bottom 6 to break into top 12 and also the last 2 chances for PE Esports to keep their top 12 placing.
Yeah, the saving grace here is all of them perform badly at the bottom, so it doesn't really move all that too much. It's like they didn't even play this game.
But
so all is well.
They were spectating.
There is a possibility that we get the worst case scenario. That GOW survives this gauntlet.
No way.
There is a chance, right? Like if this continues for the last 2 rounds, GOW will survive by absolutely doing nothing.
It'll be a
That'll be the biggest travesty ever.
I think it would be crazy if we actually bring it to tiebreakers somehow with God of Wolf.
That would actually be a travesty. If they survive through this gauntlet, I don't know what to say.
It's actually possible.
I actually think it is
this
as well.
possible?
It's actually possible because Hotshot needs a minimum of 10 points, 20, but of course, let's take a look and see exactly what Oren can dig out from our winners.
Absolutely stellar performance by every team. I lost my voice a bit back then. I mean, seriously, it was intense. But now let's hear it for the winner. Give it up for Buriram United Esports once again. Congratulations. In game 4 earlier, you made an insane highlight when eliminated all the Brazil team with grenade. How did you do that?
อธิบายหน่อยค่ะในช็อตที่เราสามารถเอาชนะบราซิลทั้งทีมได้ด้วยการใช้ระเบิดทำได้ยังไงคะ
ผมเห็นเขาโดดลงมาตรงหลังบ้านประมาณ 3-4 ตัวผมก็เลือกที่จะปาระเบิดแบบไม่ต้องนับวิอะไรเลยครับก็ปาไปเรื่อยๆแล้วก็ได้คิวเองครับประมาณนี้ครับ
He said I saw them jump and at the back of the house so he just throw the grenade without second thought
and eliminate all the Brazil team. I mean, come on, seriously. And what is your most favorite character combo and why?
บอกคาแรคเตอร์2ตัวที่ชอบมาคอมโบกันหน่อยค่ะว่าเพราะอะไร
ทัศยะกับซานีครับเพราะว่าเราแดดไปด้วยแล้วก็ได้เพิ่มเกาะไปด้วยครับมันจะทำให้ถึกขึ้นแล้วก็ล้วงได้ง่ายครับ
Tatsuya and Sani because he can dash together and grant the shield.
Right, and by now Buriram cannot have 6 Booyah in day 6 like Moshi said in earlier game 1. But how many Booyah you think your team can have in the last 2 games?
โมชิบอกว่าจะเอาบูย่าทั้ง6เกมแต่ว่าเราเพิ่งได้เป็นเกมที่2คิดว่าอีก2เกมที่เหลือเราจะทำได้กี่เกมคะ
ไม่ได้มองถึงบูย่าครับก็เล่นไปเรื่อยๆครับไม่ต้องแคร์คะแนนเพราะเราเข้ารอบ 100% อยู่แล้วครับ
We not focus on Booyah anymore just chill play because we are 100% guarantee going to grand finals.
Yes, and I mean that's the attitude for the winner, right? And give it up for Buriram United Esports. Congratulations! And now hold tight, guys, because things are about to get more exciting. Be right back.
Truthfully, Buriram really aren't pressured to take these Booyahs. Booyahs are a bonus for this team. They can just sort of try out any kind of strats that they want now.
They can just go to sleep right now.
Yeah.
Well,
they're done for the day.
They're done.
Actually, they were done like a week ago.
Yeah,
okay, well,
exactly,
they can have a nap in the next 5 minutes because we are going to go for a break in just a second. So they're not over yet. They're still going to play. But we will take a look at our elimination leaders first because we do want to see what could potentially happen for the MVP lead because we're sort of waiting for that person to come in and challenge Du for his MVP award. And I think Buriram's getting pretty close
and it's gonna be Jonah.
Okay, Jonah getting the elimination leader here. I think, is there a good chance that Jonah's going to get MVP, do you think?
I mean, he did super well at the very
absolutely.
end, right?
I mean,
like
So
he already got robbed of one MVP title.
So let's see if he does get it. It's going to be Jonah.
yes.
So Jonah is the second player to get 3 booyahs. So now he has a chance of actually contesting Dew for the MVP award. This is huge.
Could have had 4, but again, he was robbed of one of them, right?
Yes.
So to make it fair, now he's finally tied with Dew. Dew finally feeling the heat after so long. Towards the very end of the knockout stage as well. But we see some adjustments for BRU already coming in. Now he's in the more supportive role, but that's kind of the thing, right? It's good to see Jonah taking a more aggressive approach to some of these fights, right? He's getting down and dirty with the Tatsuya.
Yeah, he's got a defensive setup as well with the Nairi as well as Andrew. He's got the cluster on the setup as well. I mean, great stuff, very balanced, active as well as passive skills for all of the players on the side of Buriram Esports. And this is still not their breakout form just yet, right? 25 points still sneaked away though. This #1 spot by EXPS as expected. But Buriram Esports still do fairly well with the 22 on their side.
I want to look at GOW.
Oh, look at these bottom teams. Okay, 6 for PE Sports, 5 Hotshots, 4 Osaka, and 3 All Glory Gaming. All of these teams desperately needed points, and they're just right on top of each other.
How close are we?
Still very close. I think it's 5 points here for Hotshots to break, or at least tie, with PE Sports. MIBR 1 point. AGG still a tiny gap for AGG.
You know,
Hotshot needs 21 points.
It is very doable. Again, right, the scenario of none of these teams making it through and GOW getting safe is still very possible.
It is.
But it's still very possible at the same time for Hotshot and MIBR to turn the franchise around.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, it depends, right? Can they hit double digits for the final 2 games? Because we only have 2 more
They
games
just
left.
need 1 double digit for 1 game
Yeah.
and 1 average one.
The average is a bit too low for me, I feel, but we'll see what happens. Before that, though, we are going to go have a quick 5-minute break. So as usual, make sure you're back in 5 minutes because we still have a lot more coming up next. Hello, survivors, and welcome back to the Free Fire World Series 2023. We've just wrapped up 4 games. We've got 2 more to go, which means 2 more games for our teams in the bottom 6 to climb up to the top 12 and potentially have one of our top 12 teams go down to the bottom. Unfortunately, not everyone is going to be able to survive, but at least for us casters, we'll make it to the grand finals. My name is Tenali, and of course joining me is the wonderful, the mustachio AJ and Husky. Gentlemen, we've got Nextera coming up next, and things are not looking good here for PE Esports, but also things could be looking a little shaky for God of Wolf, because I actually think there's a chance that this team may not make it through.
Worst case scenario, we get one team making it through to the top 12. Best case scenario, we get 2 teams. Of course, not best case scenario for GOW.
Yeah, but the third scenario is that GOW scrape by.
Fourth case scenario, we get some tiebreakers.
That's true.
That is true, but I mean, when we look at this stat, oh boy, top 3 damage. Moshi leading the chart, 54,000 damage, all on his own. He has dealt more damage than a lot of teams combined.
Yeah. But in terms of the eliminations, on the other hand, he's not really keeping up his end of the bargain, mainly because he is not the main fragger of the squad, right? His duty is to constantly and consistently play that distraction, flank on from the left or right-hand side, keep those teams distracted, and if possible, get a couple of knocks for the squad, and then the rest of the slayers from the team gets the job done. Unless, of course, they all clunk out, which has happened in the past, and then Moshi has to clutch it out.
And he always makes it happen, most of the time. What was the minimum requirements for points to overtake GW? 21, right? I think for the closest team. I believe that's the hotshot at MIBR. So still very doable. I think I'm putting my money on Thoret and PogoStar one more time. Especially Thoret. I think it's less of me believing in them and more of me wanting to see them do something.
So you don't believe in them?
Not as much as I used to.
Okay, fair enough.
His belief is waning.
I get exactly where you're coming from, right? I have the exact same sentiments, and on my side, it is for Expand. I think they are definitely in the clear for top 12, but they haven't really shown up as much as they should have thus far in the knockout stage. So we've got 2 final games, and they do really well on Nextera usually. So fingers crossed for the squad, they get that done once again here now.
Well,
this is now a stressful moment, a very stressful moment if you're like the bottom teams, right? Like again, worst case scenario for GOW scraped by. No, there are very less teams who have survived a one-day gauntlet, especially when you are already in the red, right? GOW might be one of the few rare cases. But when you look at the faces of teams like PE Esports, AGG, MIBR, I think tensions are really starting to build, especially for PE Esports, because you come from a region that is touted to be the top 3 regions, sort of, at least in SEA. But when you look at all the Vietnam teams, they definitely are the ones who are struggling the most. Which is even crazy when you consider the fact that they actually are one of the more experienced teams.
PE Esports needs a total of 17 points to overtake GOW. And if you look at Hotshot, they need around 23 to 24 points to overtake GOW. So this is still very doable. And I guess the benchmark that I set for them earlier on still is going to stand, right? An average of 12 points per game. If they do better, all the greater for them. But they can't do greater in one game and then clunk out in match number 6.
Exactly.
Just like what they showed us.
And what's going to make it more difficult is that the last map is random. So no one's going to know what they're going to play until we are just about ready to fly into that final map.
Even if we did, though, it means nothing because they were supposed to perform well on Kalahari. They didn't. They were not supposed to perform all that too great on Alpine. They did. So it's really the luck of the draw here.
Yeah, but what happens if like they get Kalahari and they just flunk out again? Like you have to also consider like, okay, what would be the best case scenario here? Like, if anything, you want to try and have the stars align, have all of the things that you're good at be there, ready for you to play your best, because no one wants to play at a disadvantage.
When you look at Kalahari, right, we say that Hotshot is the top 4 most performing team, and they got wiped pretty early on.
Yes, they did.
And so that is also kind of a red flag. Like, what happens if we somehow get lucky and go back to Kalahari because we've not had that rerun yet? I think Hotshot will need to make adjustments, because so far we've seen them drop, find the circle very early on. They get to survive at the top 6, top 4. They even got a Booyah because of that. But Kalahari was the only map leading up to this point where they dropped in the outer part of the circle. They get a horrible save zone and they could not make it in.
Well, we have to let the teams decide what their fates are going to be, because it's going to come down to their performance, their decision-making, and their execution of their strategies as we fly our teams in to map number 5. It is Nextera who's going to be securing that booyah and taking home the majority of the points. And for the bottom teams, who is going to scrape their way up the leaderboard? Will there be any kind of change? And it looks like, look at this flight path, a very
nice.
juicy one for everybody involved.
God sent for most teams. Ideally, there should not be any hot drops. I mean, the only reason we saw hot drops on Kalahari was because we got a very skewed flight path. In this case, no
Hot
surprise
Shot and EXPS both like Decker Square though.
Yep.
And they're still not out of the plane yet.
Still flying.
No.
Still flying.
Oh no, mama.
Okay, wow, they flew at the same time.
Oh no, mama. Don't do it, bro.
Are they doing it?
Don't do. Oh no, EXPS is gonna peel away. Hot shot. They lucked out big time. Big time.
Not gonna contest this. Thank goodness. But it is a split drop from Hot Shot, so they're not out in the clear just yet.
Speaking of not in the clear, Loud is also in a very precarious position because they've jumped right into Buriram.
Very inconsequential fight. They can both go out and it would not make too much of a difference. At least thankfully for this knockout stage. Wasana, wow, just rushes in for the first knock. Mexico did not stand a chance.
Of course, Buriram looking for the #1 spot, and they need to get 18 points to sneak that away from CGG, who's not playing today. Currently, Buriram leading the whole competition with the most number of booyahs picked up by a team. A total of 6 for them, which is super impressive.
Yeah, 6 out of 24. Well, leading out 6 out of 22. Actually, very, very good ratio. There are small skirmishes happening across the map. I think PE Esports was going up against AGG. You can see that AGG already losing 2 members to PE Esports, so that's great. Lau actually ambushed by 18 from Poco Stars, who once a part of this very festive occasion around Museum.
And Loud's not feeling the festivities at all here.
They're not allowed to play the game apparently.
Buriram, they back away.
Oh, PE Esports.
They don't want to deal with the situation.
AGG's run might just end here. I think they have one more guy left. Hope that he's on the run.
22 points away from just catching up to the 12th spot. I think it's safe to say if AGG gets taken out here, the run for them is definitely over.
And that's going to be the end
already
of
one team
Loud.
out.
Yep, so Loud is out, and Poco Star is going to be sticking their nose into somewhere where it doesn't belong, gentlemen.
I mean, we have PE Sports against MIBR on the other side, right? So that's also another important fight. I'd argue more important than this one, but BRU, they're already losing 2 members already. And Moshi, I believe, being knocked down. Well, we definitely down Poco Stars, making quick work with the Bison. BRU getting wiped out. Wow, we're down to 10 teams already.
My goodness, Poco. That was a hot fight. Granted, Buriram just exited another skirmish, but Poco did absolutely well with their positioning, and they stacked their members up well enough, engaged with one by one each and every single one of those Buriram players, got that drop. Of course, a little bit of luck playing their way as well. But like I said, man, not a lot of consequences from losing that fight. Thorad, on the other hand, though, trying to get a cheeky one off of Magic Squad. A double glue wall set up by Budson. And the rest of the players not following suit.
My man GU, just what a shot onto Darko.
Well, GU wants to tie up the MVP titles here with Dew as well as Jonah. If they get the booyah, they probably can walk away with that.
Well, this is a kind of a mini fun fact, but EXP has never beaten EXPS in the CQC in this entire knockout stage. But Dew, let's get traded though. Cobra got to step out right now. Double glue wall for Caramel. Dew gets picked back up. Actually brings himself back up. Big cluster. Doesn't get any connection so far still. Dew ends up going down, but Stop will now join the fight. And wow, that's it for Expand. That's 3 full teams wiped out.
That's kind of bad for Expand.
It's alright. They'll still
Yeah,
make
they
it.
did qualify. That's fine.
Are they guaranteed qualified? How far ahead are they of
They qualify
Hot
whilst
Shots?
crying, but they still qualify.
They're about to hit the 200 mark, so they're safe. Pretty safe.
5 points away from 200. GOW, who's not playing, needs 19 points to catch up with them. And EE Sports needs 17 to catch up with GOW. It's safe to say nobody's going to take the spot away from Expand.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Magic Squad now fighting Thorad. This is also a messy
Oh,
one.
gee.
The penetration will be there. I mean, Thorad finding 2 in quick succession. MGS, this fight has already ended. We might see another full squad wipe.
And this is great for all of the bottom 6 teams at this point
Yes.
because all of the big boys are getting taken out of this lobby. So by the time they circle around to find these final few circles, the smaller squads are going to have a good go at that #1 spot. 12 points from Booyah. Nobody's going to say no to that.
I mean, GOW is crapping bricks right now, seeing this happen. The worst possible
I think
scenario.
they're already depressed.
Pretty depressed.
that-
Oh,
I
PE.
mean, prior to this round, we set up a scenario that they couldn't make it through, right? And
Yeah.
then now they saw 4 teams that got knocked
Look,
out.
all the teams that are at the bottom, Hotshot, Osaka,
They're still
MIBR,
around.
AGG, PE, are all alive. Now, all they need is EXPS, Torred, as well as Poco to meet each other, take each other out, just equalize each other, and then we've got a lobby to watch. I am going to lose my mind near those end circles.
Which is pretty crazy because last round, all the bottom teams got knocked out first, and now the
Yes.
complete opposite happened. I mean, GOW, they were happy for a while. But right now, I think if you are GOW, you are starting to really, really panic.
Yes, you're actually panicking. I'm pretty sure they're watching these matches as well, and they're just trying to do the math. Okay, how close are these teams to potentially stealing our spot away? Will we get by with a single point? It is extremely close. We're going to switch on over to Osaka here. We're trying to do a little bit of
That's
sniping
Torred.
work.
Yeah,
That's
Torred.
Torred on the other side. If one of the bottom teams gets a Booyah, oh boy, that gap is gone for GOW.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. Now, Osaka is playing with fire here. A couple of shots against Torred. If Torred really wants to play, Osaka might just get burned by what they're trying to do here, but I think they still do have quite a bit of distance between themselves as well as Torred.
Poco.
Circle does favor MIBR, so Poco will have to go through them.
I mean, Poco are in a bit of a role here, so it could be very scary for MIBR to run into them. AGG, though, just losing player after player all game. And it seems like that's going to be the story for the rest of this, unless they can somehow stabilize. But AGG losing players left, right,
That's
and center.
This could be the end of AG
Oh.
journey unless Sebas can somehow pull out a 1v4. Nah. It's a tall ass and nah, it's not doable.
Wrong gun. Wrong gun for this party.
He's still trying.
Oh,
Okay,
hang
gets
on a
it down.
minute.
Where's the
Hold
turtle?
on.
Nope,
Oh,
that's it.
very scary there.
AGG would need a miracle next round.
Yeah. Unfortunate. I mean, long gone are the Charge Buster days, as well as the Glue Wall Reset and Juke. But
I do want
this
to
is the big
mention.
fight.
I do want to mention that
Yeah.
PE has 7 eliminations this round. So that's already 7 eliminations under their belt. As long as these
Yeah.
teams in the bottom of the bracket do not score any points, PE should finish on top of them regardless.
Okay,
I
this
mean,
is
yeah,
uh,
PE is definitely just aiming for
They're
GOW
chilling.
at this point. Yeah, so it's not really going to affect what MIBR or Hotshot think. The only thing that these two need to worry about is each other's performance.
This is a crucial fight. I mean, Osaka peeled away from Hotshot, right? So they both get to play this round a bit longer.
And
But
Poco could
yes.
play a big factor in this fight as well, because
Oh,
if you
man.
remove MIBR, that's another team that you don't have to worry about anymore.
If you take MIBR out of this equation, Hotshot's going to fall in love with the boys from Poco. Grenade, they need one to open up this upper floor, leave on the shots from afar. The Powerful making its work on these players. 18 Deer with the Drogon gets the knock, and the rest of MIBR comes out as well. Pitbull wants to play. Rigby bursts away with his Tatsuya. They drop a cluster for Poco to eat up, and 18 Deer calls for the flank. Finds MKS on the right. Raz
He's
up
done.
top as well. Pitbull down at the bottom. Starkdead can't help him out. And unfortunately for MIBR, this is the end in the 7th spot.
holy cow, Osaka.
Poco.
Osaka, Hotshot, and PE Sports are now guaranteed top 6 and might be guaranteed top 5 because Torred are getting wiped as well. EXPS doing them a favor. Torred able to sneak away with just one survivor, but perhaps not for long.
This
See,
lobby
this
is so small
No,
already.
this is great and at the same time terrible, right? Because you are looking at, okay, wait, let's realistically look at this. MIBR's out, All Glory is out.
Yes.
Osaka's too far away from Hotshot to really catch up, even if they do have a fantastic round here. Hotshot's still alive, so Hotshot is going to be guaranteed at least top 5 if they can survive another circle.
They need to start getting eliminations. As tough as it is, they need to get some elimination points. Placement points is not sufficient unless they get 2 Booyahs in a row, and that is too close of a line to cut.
No, it is though, because all they need to do is get a total of 24 points. So 12 points now, 12 points in the
points
next
is
round.
doable.
It's very doable because once again, you're looking at Osaka catching up with them. Osaka needs to get a Booyah now and then another Booyah and then hope and pray that it kind of maths out.
But if you're Hotshots, you're also kind of hoping that PE Sports gets eliminated now,
Yeah,
or
'cause
soon at least.
The only one that was kind of threatening Hotshot was MIBR.
Yes.
And that's out. And
And
that
thanks
got-
to Thorad, that kind of came to a quick end.
We are 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes into this round. Only 6 teams remaining and 24 players. I think this has to be one of the emptier lobbies that we have encountered at this stage of the game. So plenty of room for these teams to move.
Now the important question is, where is Hotshot?
Good question, 'cause
Four
we
of the
haven't
teams.
seen
We
them.
have not seen Hotshot.
We do know where Poco Stars
Okay.
are. Oh, there we go.
There they are.
So they are in the circle, but barely. So in a good position to gatekeep if necessary.
Great position because they've got a vending machine to play around with as well, and I'm pretty sure all they've been doing thus far is just looting up every single compound they cross. The Esports on the left. Osaka's already a little busy, so if Hotshot does manage to spot one of them from afar, they could sneak away a couple of elimination points here, but it has to be a sound play from them. Hotshot. They don't want to move just yet as Poco joins the fray.
And I think if you're Hotshot, you don't move. Just stay there. Please stay there.
Be patient. I think that's the call they need to make. Be patient. Don't reveal their position until they are 100% certain that they have their 6 covered.
Okay, that rotation is actually not the worst, but you don't go any further than that. Any further means you put yourself, wow, they were in the range of UAV. Okay, this could be disastrous.
I have a feeling Thorad actually know that where Hotshots are, and it looks like Hotshots are turning around to actually engage into Thorad. So these teams are ready to defend their positions.
Osaka!
Oh my gosh!
Repositioning right behind the players of Hotshot. So this one is going to distract the Pakistanis just a tad bit. Anas, beautiful headshot from across. Chris down on the ground. No flame on his body just yet. He gets picked right back up. Action on the other hand has got the RGS 50 alongside the Trogon. Ghost drops Hasu. No elimination just yet. Pajaro circling around, but look at all of that barricade set up by Hotshot.
Sonia is going to time out for Justin. He's going to get knocked down, so he needs help right now. Saji gets the knock, but again, Hotshot needs to somehow survive this. Thora has joined the party. Hotshot just need to play the survival game. The frags do not matter as much as Thora helps out a Hotshot. They're taking out the members of Osaka. This could be good news for Hotshot. Coast standing just hanging up by a thread. He's also knocked down. Osaka are not out just yet though.
Kill.
Hotshot just hanging on by a wire here. The surviving player backs away as Thoret deals with Osaka. EXPS joins the fray as well. The next circle has shown up and Hotshot wants to make a move. We only have action left in here, but there is a vending machine that he could abuse outside, and he's moving straight for it. Buy back.
Yes.
And he gets one purchase. Just enough for Hasu.
Better than nothing, right? Hasu is going to take the other side of the circle. Perhaps just play that late rotation. They have no more fighting capabilities, but they can still stay alive. Now, can Action hide from all of these other teams, though? He is out in the open. That is a very crowded area to work with.
They're trying to shoot down.
Action actually got Justin as well to buy some time for himself. Action finds the knock. He needs to heal up right now.
He can loot up the player as well. Action still alive and kicking. Osaka still in front of him, but this circle is gonna hurt. One more second. Circle starts to move.
Can he get the buyback?
XPS right in front as well.
Dude!
Gets a knock from the
Nice!
air. Raz down. Action gets a double revival. Let's go. The Pakistanis are alive.
And he takes out Chris, right? The knock onto Justin early on gave him enough gold to buy his team back.
They're flying in as well, gentlemen. We're running out of time.
Action is clutching it out for his team right now. Poco Stars also down to 2-5, stands back up. Anas gets knocked down. That's completely fine. It's down to top 5. What more can Hotshot do? It's all about the placements right now.
Anas gets taken out by Dew. EXP is still alive and kicking here, but New K helping out Hotshot. Dew gets knocked down by the players on the side of PE Sports. New K finding that final connection. Poco alive with 12 eliminations. Need to deal with the team right in front of them. PE Sports on the left, EXPS on the right. But Hotshot's just staying away from all of this action.
Now Ika got the sidearm knock elimination onto Dew as well. Action finally gets eliminated, so he's down to Sajid and Hasu, and unfortunately they have not much to work with. And then Cluster from Caramel actually lands on the Sajid, but Hasu can bring him back up if they want to. EXPS, they know that they got to rush this right now. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough one for Hotshot. They are in the circle, but they don't have much to work with. It could be the end of their round, but I think Action has done more than enough to keep them alive. It all comes down to just fate. That last round later on will be so important for Hotshot.
PE Sports still alive and kicking though. They are definitely going for the spot of GOW and should be able to get it done within this matchup in itself. PE Sports, they need a total of 17 to overtake GOW. 8 eliminations in hand already. And placement points is a lot to ask for. That literally says they need the booyah.
And they already got knocked. This one courtesy of BXPS is Lozzy up against Kasa.
Oh, how
Stop
up?
trying to get him knocking down. How am fight 2 of them from Poco. Does get traded back by MKS. Needs a lot more than that. Was able to thin down the numbers of PE Sport. ESPS also has 2 more left standing. What a scattered 5 PE Sports on top of the roof, pressured by Leem and Fires.
Caramel though, New K trying to pick Nero up, but Caramel stops him, take the shot against him, and New K drops Caramel. What a counter. Stop trying to take New K out of the equation. New K already with the aim. Stop Mama! Sprays him up. And PE Sports out by a grenade courtesy of Poco Lead.
Done more than enough for sure. PE Sports in the green zone is Thorat now against Poco Stars and EXPS. Vice MKS tanking a lot of the damage from the blue already. That blue are not making it any easier. Is Stop perhaps having a chance of clutching it out? The Indonesians are killing each other, and Stop is about to steal the booyah away. That Gluok gets knocked down. Stop just firing away at Lee, who has a pad in his hand for whatever reason and doesn't have enough defense to work it for already.
So 1v1v1. Stop playing for the 10,000 USD for Dude. You better share that 50% with him. Grenade. Stop looking for the final finisher. North really low. A sliver of health just left here. North just hanging on for his dear life. Focusing on Leem. Stop takes advantage. Goes in, sprays him down. Gets the drop. And he finally shuts down the other player as well with the help of the blue. And it is EXPS that walks away with the booyah. And Dude's the happiest guy out there.
This could be a grand finals round, and I would not question it. What a long sequence towards the very end. Then last, what, 5-6 minutes? Hot shot action, clutching it out for his team. That guy bought a lifeline for his squad. Would have been nicer if he got a few more eliminations along the way, but the fact that they made 5th place, I believe 5th or 6th place, that's more than enough. Now it all hinges on that one random map.
On that one random map, and whether or not they can actually get the points to overtake God of Wolf, because I think PE Sports, is it safe to say that they are in the green now for top 12?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
They could finish 12th and be in the green, I think.
Yeah.
And GOW is in 12th place.
GOW. You better be watching this game. You better be
they're
praying.
definitely watching.
They're praying. And they're going to do whatever kind of ritual they can to try and ensure they make it and stay in that top 12. But yeah, these boys, they're watching with bated breath. Will they get to play next weekend? But of course, for Hot Shots, they've got one more game to hit that mark.
The closest that Pakistan has ever gotten to a Wolves finals.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any closer than this. And just now, when they got the booyah, they did say, right, wait for them in the finals. I mean, they are keeping their end of the bargain up to this point. Now it's about crossing that line. The opponent in front of you is literally incapable of fighting back.
That is very true.
The only enemy that Hotshot has right now is themselves. No mistakes are going to be accepted on this final round. But if they can perform it, they can pull out what they did in this game, once again on that random map, then it is a guarantee. Pakistan will be celebrating tonight.
What they did
It's
on
a
this
public
map,
holiday tomorrow.
plus maybe two to 4 eliminations, right? Again, you still need some insurance policy. I mean, Action, I believe, was able to get 2 on this round. So you make it into a situation where 1 round is enough if you play it average. We're not asking for much. Average round for Hotshot will be sufficient.
Well, average for the teams at the bottom of the bracket is a different kind of average than the average team.
Yeah.
So we're kind of asking them to sort of go not above and beyond,
I
but
asked for an average of 12 per match.
12 is a lot for
I think
these
they got
teams.
your 8.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think they got the 12, but of course, we still want to see exactly what the winners say to Miss On Patira. We'll be back with you guys in a bit.
Wow, that was incredible. Incredible moves from Thailand team and from Indonesia team. But finally, we got our last man standing right here. Let's hear it for EXP Esports. Congratulations. You are the last member of your team in the last combat of Game 5. How can you get the booyah? Can you explain it for us for a bit?
เมื่อกี้ตอนช็อตสุดท้ายอะค่ะเหลือเราอยู่คนเดียวเจอกับอีก2คนแล้วเราอะเอาชนะจนได้บูย่ามาอธิบายหน่อยได้ไหมคะว่าสถานการณ์ตอนนั้นเป็นยังไง
ต้องยกเครดิตให้เพื่อนๆผมเลยครับเพื่อนๆผมช่วยบอกแบบทำนู่นทำนี่แบบช่วยกันครับช่วยดูคนช่วยอะไรแบบนี้นะครับ
I gave all credit to my friend that they helped me a lot until we get the booyah at the last game.
So it's definitely team play, right? Team play. And what is your most favorite weapon in Free Fire and why?
ปืนที่ชอบที่สุดในฟรีไฟค่ะ แล้วเพราะอะไร
โอก้อนครับ มันยิงง่ายแล้วก็โกงนะครับ
Trogon is quite easy to aim.
Right. And your team has been qualified to the finals. Congratulations. Are you confident that EXP Esports can do well next week?
ทีม EXP Esports ได้เข้ารอบไฟนอลแน่ๆอยู่แล้วอะค่ะ มั่นใจไหมคะว่าอาทิตย์หน้าจะทำได้ดีกว่านี้อีก
ก็มั่นใจอยู่ครับ เพราะว่าตอนนี้พวกผมยังเล่นแบบได้ไม่เต็มที่เล่นแบบเล่นชิวๆครับตอนเนี้ย
We have 100% confidence right now. We just chill play, not 100% play.
Not 100%. Any last word for your fans?
ฝากข้อความถึงแฟนๆหน่อยค่ะ
ก็ขอบคุณทุกกำลังใจที่ส่งมาให้พวกผมนะครับ อาทิตย์หน้าพวกผมจะทำให้เต็มที่ครับ ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you for all support for EXP Esports. We will try our best next week.
I hope you do, and best of luck and congratulations. I know you guys waiting for the final game. Who and which team will take it into the final? Let's hear it from you. Back to you, Shoutcaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to end the day with our last map and also the deciding map to determine whether or not the roster that we're looking at right now, the top 12 teams that we currently have, will they be going to the finals, or are we going to be looking at one change? Because there is one change that could potentially happen, but it's all going to depend on this final map.
Then
One
GOW
change,
in
I'm
the
looking at 2 changes.
I'm saying one because I kind of think it's only going to be one.
GOW in the hot seat. That is going to be one for sure.
Okay, if you say 2, who do you think is the second change? Because I think the one that people are thinking of right now is God of Wolf losing their spot to Hot Shots. But who is potentially the second team that could snap a spot away?
Oh, I didn't say, 1 losing the spot or 2 losing the spot from the top 12. I just
Oh,
meant
okay,
2 teams moving.
Sure,
from the
okay.
bottom.
All right. So we're thinking about the same thing, just different wording. All right, so elimination leaders for the previous round, as you can see on the screen right now, we've got Du in first place with 5 eliminations, but he's got his teammate there as well. Second place, we have Stop to be accompanying him in the top of the elimination leaders board. But does this also mean that Du is the MVP of this round?
I would say
He shouldn't be.
I would say Stop, honestly,
You think it's
right?
Stop?
Stop is the MVP, and if they give it to Du,
Please
don't give
We're
it to
going to
Du.
find out.
Don't you do it.
It should be
Don't
Stop.
you do it.
Should be Stop.
Without Stop, it wouldn't have been possible.
I
All
think
right,
we're
we'll
going to look
find
at
out
it right now, gentlemen. It
Hey.
is Du.
They
So
did it.
this is going to put Du back at the top of the leaderboard because
Yeah.
he did tie. Well, not really tie. I think he would have still been at the top
Yeah.
because he still had the elimination
See,
leads.
usually I don't publicly express my disagreement, with
What you
whoever's
talking about? You do
running
that all the
this.
time.
But I highly disagree. That is robbery.
You think? Okay, well, we can see the stats as well to see how Du and Stop contributed to the team. So, Du, numbers-wise, did a little bit more than Stop, but
The
the
only
numbers
difference is
don't
the
say.
damage.
Yeah, I mean the numbers don't explain everything.
Oh well.
Well, I guess
Wow.
I guess that's
Oh,
$10,000.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Well, maybe he splits it with the team. Maybe he's that kind of player. It's a
I know
team
I
game,
won't.
So.
I earned it.
Well, that's why you're not on a team. So here's that game standings for round number 5 with EXP Esports sitting on top with 28 points. 23 for
my.
Thora, 22 for Poco Stars. P Esports got
Oh,
17
boy.
points and 8 for Hot Shots.
Look, Pakistan needed an average of 12. They got 8, so they need to double time hustle in the next match. But P Esports needed 17 to take away GOW's spot, and I think they did exactly that.
Oh,
so
boy.
GOW, my dear sirs, do you sit on the 12th? Yes, you
They
do.
do.
177. And Hot Shot right behind them on the 3rd
Seven.
placement with 164. But MIBR still stands a solid chance.
So 14 points for Hot Shot, 18 points for MIBR. These 2 teams are the only team who has a chance. Everyone else, I think it's fair to say that they are done.
All right.
Done.
The question here is what is going to be our map selection for the random map? Is it going to potentially favor Hot Shots
boy.
and MIBR in any way? Or is God of Wolf going to be watching the screen screaming that they get a more favorable map. I mean, they're not playing, but they're hoping someone else is going to eliminate them.
Yeah, I mean, if we get maybe next Terra, MIBR is going to be very happy. If we get Kalahari, Hotshot's going to be happy. If we get neither one of those, both teams are going to be very, very unhappy.
We are going to roll the map selection now, gentlemen. So with bated breath, our final map is going to be Kalahari!
I don't want to rain on your parade. I know Hotshot will be happy, but just look back at what happened at Kalahari earlier on. That, I think, is something worth considering because they did not show up the way we wanted them to, right?
Yes.
You should change your name to Nancy because you're negative.
No, they get a second chance, which is good.
Hold on. So let's talk about what happened last time to Hotshots, right?
Yeah.
Hotshots got shut down by P Esports. Now the question I have for that scenario, did these two teams drop in their usual drop points in that last game?
I think not really because we have a very southern flight path, so a lot of teams were forced into a very uncomfortable spot.
But P and
I think
they went very.
You
they went to the
ask such detailed questions sometimes. Even you don't know where they dropped.
Okay, they were playing in the top right-hand corner of the map. I remember because the circle went to the bottom left, and they had a massive flight path that they
Okay,
they
who
had to
hot dropped them?
What?
Who hot dropped them?
What? They didn't hot drop each other.
Exactly, we don't know where
Yeah,
they
so
dropped.
P. No, so P. We've got predictions coming up in just a second here.
this is very entertaining. This is my favorite. This is my favorite part of the show.
Let's go! Okay, here's the thing. I'm not.
Wait, you don't think Hotshot's gonna make it?
Huh?
Look at this negative Nancy over here.
You
may as well put God of Wolf in your prediction.
You guys have been calling me out for 2 years that I curse teams, so I decided to not do that. So if Hotshot doesn't make it, we know who to blame, and that's not me.
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to figure out how I'm cursing teams. Is it by me verbally saying it or just predicting it? So
look at
I'm
what
not
happened to
saying
Osaka.
who.
You haven't been cursing anyone. You haven't.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I have, but we'll see in just a second. Oh my goodness. But yes, Kalahari.
Thorat looks a little glum, but I don't
they're fine. I mean, one of them
see
is
why they should be.
I mean, Thorat are fine. They're top 12. They went up.
One of them is
unless
asleep.
they're asleep.
Nah, they're not asleep.
Wake up.
No, they've got a sheet in front of them. They're looking at that sheet and they're figuring out, okay, who do we want to rain on?
No, they've got their hands on something. I have no idea what they've got their
I'm
hands
pretty
on.
sure they're doing the team cheer. Whatever you call that.
No, that's too long to be soaked into the team shirt. Oh no,
Alright,
that
that
was
was
more
more
anticlimactic
anticlimactic than I
I
thought.
think they were praying. Okay.
Praying? I don't know. I think they were talking. And then when they finished, like, all right, team,
Why
let's
do
win
they
this.
need to touch
Boom,
hands to
boom,
talk?
boom.
I think they were talking. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they
I
had
don't
a
know.
team. You know how they have the team talk? The captain
Hold hands, let's
speaks.
talk.
Hold hand, let's talk. Once they're done, all right, team, let's go. Boom, boom, fist bump. Yeah. You've never been on a team before, I can tell.
I know my team doesn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause
My
you
team
don't.
never did
Okay,
that.
the Husky. I know because you don't have a team. You don't know what it's
I-
like to be on a
Not
team.
on Free Fire. I was in a team for a different game, but I abandoned the team right after we lost.
Yeah, that's why
'Cause
you're
my
not on a
captain
team
sucks,
anymore.
alright? My captain
God.
sucks. It was
Explains
not my
everything.
problem.
What has happened to this broadcast? Okay, you know what?
Non-believers.
You know, yes, we are looking for everyone to participate hot in this next match, but I'm looking forward to one MVP. That's the Observer. He better follow the fights that I want to see.
You better follow the teams I think that are the most important in this matchup. A team.
I'm wishing the same.
Team. Singular team.
He hears you. He's gonna follow Hotshot all the way.
Fingers crossed.
I've been waiting for him to hear me for a long time now.
Yeah, I don't think he hears us at all. All right, we're going to be loading the teams into the aircraft as we get ready to finish the knockout stage with Kalahari. And the question is whether God of Wolf is going to be playing next week or if it's going to be Hotshots. These two teams are vying for that 12th spot.
And there's a third team, MIBR.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. Well, I'm not going to forget about MIBR, but again, it's going to come down to performance. Do these teams get the points necessary to make it into top 12? Whew. It's
I
a
don't know.
lot.
I mean,
I feel
Here's
nervous.
the craziest thing that could happen, okay?
Oh.
And there is like a 1% chance this happens. P Esports gets 0 points. They clunk out early. All right. MIBR gets the booyah, walks away with a total of 19 points. And Hotshots in the second spot with a total of 15 points. If that happens, I'll lose my mind.
18,
Alright.
you mean?
Hold
18.
on. We are seeing the teams fly
14.
out. Okay, so PE.
Right.
Are they going back to confinement again? Yes. Hot Shots thinking about going to
Magic
Council
Squad
Hall.
with whom? Is that
Hang on,
Poco?
AGG are going to Council Hall? That was where Hot Shots were last game. So Hot Shots are actually changing trajectory after seeing another team come in.
Smart play by Hot Shots, but pulling away at the very final second, I don't know how much of good that's going to do for them. Dean gets one with the Scar, and Magic Squad loses one super early. Poco's going to be happy with this.
Justin actually found Cobra as well, so Osaka starting off on a good note. Leave popped down again, unfortunately. Magic Squad finding some sort of an exchange, but you need to secure those elims though.
And this is exactly what teams like MIBR and Hotshot want for the top dogs to face each other off very early on in this lobby, square up against each other, even if they don't take each other out of the lobby, at the very least nerf those teams as much as possible, force them to play that game of replay, use up all of their resources, use up all of those coins for those revives, give the lower teams a little bit of a chance here. But of course, they're not going to be looking to do that. Poco doing really well, butts it down as well as Fires finds the secure. Juice out of the equation, one final survivor for the side of Magic.
Hotshot has ran into Loud.
Loud, yeah. So I think it was Lost 21. Managing to take out one of the players from Hot Shots. Now, we do have to remember, Hot Shots, they did sort of split up when they realized that AGG was going to Council Hall. But luckily, the team has regrouped.
There is this one MIBR guy. If they can take him out, it will alleviate some of that pressure, because MIBR, if they want to join us, they can, but Hotshot, they're not taking any chances.
Yeah, play it safe. Play it super safe. They know what's at stake.
I don't know how
smart
is this, though.
I feel like you just take out Stark, right? And then you buy a bit more space for yourself.
Yeah.
Like at some point, you need to be active.
They're gonna leave.
Got the mini Uzi here.
He needs to win this. He has to win this.
Not the right gun for this battle, Stark 10.
Oh,
It's all about the initial tag. 1 HP. That's Sonya on that reset. And Stark 10 does get taken down.
Clear him out.
The 3 seconds timed out. And Stark 10 is not going to be able to do much. And now once he gets this confirmation, buys back his partner as well. GG, great play from Hotshot.
And this is where if you want to rotate, you can start thinking about it. Right? Again, sometimes you have to take the fight. As much as it's a tough choice to make, some risk needs to be taken. All of them are spread out though. This is what I'm scared of. I know Anas just came back. But if he gets picked up right now, they will need to somehow adapt their rotations.
Casper's already on the hunt.
Oh gosh, this is EXPS of all teams as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. He's going to get scanned out by the UAV as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to sack himself. Like, he doesn't want to lure EXPS to his team. He's saying, all right, I'm going to go down, team. You can buy me back later. Necessary play.
Yeah. I mean, glue wall, no glue wall, matters not to you. He gets the first elimination for the squad. Great stuff as usual.
And BRU running in Thorat is also just another fight right now. Depending on who goes down, it really doesn't affect anything. North will time out though the Sonya, I believe. Yep. Time's out. BRU wipes out Thorat first. So 11 teams remain.
Very tense game. Even the casters are watching with bated breath to find out what's going to happen. But I don't blame the teams though. Like, this is the last game. Especially for Hot Shots, you have to play it so patiently. And we do have a top-down view. It's going to be a bottom right circle. So teams in the top left and also on the edge of the map, they will have to start finding their safe paths towards that safe zone.
Action is starting to move to the rest of his team, who are, I believe, at Mammoth or Maze, which is good for them, right? AGG though, their run has already ended, and Lau will just make sure that is going to be the case, at least for one of their members, right? Is Sebas. Joel will be there actually from the high ground. But Mexico comes in for the save.
Save there. No MA to B clearly from the hands of Sebas to punish them. Drax down on the ground as Stewart gets a knock with that RGS 50. The connection is there, and Action has managed to bring his partner back into the equation as Lost 21 finds that revenge against Sebas. Loud with their second elimination. Nothing much for them to win out of this skirmish. Just except punishing AGG a little bit more.
I mean, knocking out AGG would also prevent them from, I guess, causing some problems for for Hot Shots who's trying to play catch up, and MIBR as well, because whenever they get points, that means these points are not being funneled to teams that can still potentially qualify.
So we know that Action
AGG is not the problem.
Yeah, MIBR is actually. We know that Anas is, well, not Anas. Action is the only guy isolated. The rest of his team are together. If he can, well, I would say if he can get another kill, that would be great. But unfortunately, Stark has already spotted him, so Blue is on cover. And gotta start backing off though. You don't really want to use your glue wall if you can. Precious resources, especially you're in his position. But he will be able to disengage.
Ooh, P Esports taking significant damage there. Two players down. Can't do anything either.
PE is already safe in the top 12. Not a huge consequence of losing this gunfight against Buriram of all teams. Osana, great reposition with the grappling hook. A double grapple, make that a triple to cut that distance down.
Oh, it has 4. That's 5. But how much grapple does this guy have? And it also comes down to whether PE Esports gets any point, right? Any extra point that they get is actually buying a bit more distance for them. So there is a knock on to Moshi. That's at least 1 point for PE Esports.
And they bring him back again. So Moshi's still going to play this game.
So nobody's going to be able to steal that spot away from PE Esports unless that impossible happens, right? Where PE Esports literally gets nothing from this.
And MIBR just go
Both
ham.
MIBR and Hotshots.
Yes.
I mean, look at Hotshot, right? They're having a great time right now, at least in terms of rotation. But this is where it becomes a crunch. There's Osaka in front of them at the sub. EXPS will most likely deal with MIBR, but that also makes EXPS the next obstacle that Hotshot needs to go through.
This is actually a great opportunity for Hotshots because they are luring up Nemeth as they rotate in. They should come across Osaka. That is a very decent fight for them to take.
Yeah.
And 4 points there. They need a total of 14. They just need to get into the circle and hope and pray they get another squad and then just play the game of survival.
If they can clear Osaka and finish 3rd, I think they've cleared it. But 3rd,
Big ask.
yeah, 3rd is a big ask for sure.
MIBR though, this might be the end of the road for this team if EXPS take them out.
Looks like it's very possible. MIBR
That's
gets
it.
really down. Start
That's
them.
it.
Yep, he's gonna time out. The Sonya would not reset in time. MIBR,
Oh well.
the Brazilian dream has ended for them. You gotta rely on Loud and Magic Squad to carry the rest of the flag.
And Hotshots just praising EXPS at this point of time, unless of course EXPS meets Hotshot right after this.
Yeah, making very
don't-
big rotations now.
Yeah, I don't think that's likely unless they path south. So Hotshots are relatively safe, but yes, Hotshots gonna run into Osaka unless Osaka have rotated around the circle.
Remember, for Hotshot,
They need 13 more points.
eliminations needs to start happening for them. Like
They
it or not.
do.
Like it or not.
I disagree. I think eliminations need to start happening in that final circle. They start now, bro. Yeah, the last few times they tried it early, they just got knocked out of the equation.
If they get Osaka, they need at least 3rd place, right? And even
Yeah.
that is a tall ask.
I think they can match up against Osaka. They can potentially take P Esports out of the equation. Expand might be a fair fight for Hotshots as well. Expand is pretty much in the safe zone. Apart from those teams, anybody else, it's instant death for Hotshot and no qualification to week 3.
14 points is still a pretty tall task for Hotshot.
They should have just given me my 12 from the previous match.
Oh, they gave you the bare minimum, 8 points.
I didn't ask for 8 though.
Oh, you
8 was
said,
not the bare minimum.
no, he said like he wanted 10 and they got 6, so he wanted 12, maybe they'll get 8. They're not high achievers.
It's underperforming, unfortunately.
They're
Especially with
like-
what they
I mean,
need.
you said it yourself, right? Like average points for some of these teams is above average.
Yes,
Bare
but the average
minimalists.
performance, yeah. Yep.
PE Sports might be knocked out, so that could be good news for Hotshot.
How's that good news though? They're never going to catch up with PE.
Yeah, but you gain
Okay, possible.
you gain like placement points, right? Like it's
Right,
puts
okay.
you up in the
fair,
placements.
Fair.
I think
fair.
if you're Hotshots, you kind of want everyone that's in the final circle to not have a full roster.
Ideally, that's the case. Oh, PE Sports already out.
There goes PE Sports.
So that's a guaranteed extra 2 points for Hotshot in terms of placements.
Closer and closer. Hotshot gets to Osaka.
Okay, this is
AGG, I believe, one more player on the left-hand side of the sub. UAV sent out by the Hotshot players, I believe, straight towards Osaka.
okay, Osaka is also moving. This is where it gets very tense for Hotshot. Are you finding any teams, or is that rotation gonna lead you straight into the last circle? Because I think if we go into that final 2nd circle onwards, and there are like what 9 teams left, it's very tough for Hotshot to fight their way through.
Especially when you're looking at teams, multiple teams with full rosters. Because the ideal situation for Hotshots is that you have a lot of fragmented teams, right? They're not full teams. They can't focus
Oh
their
boy.
attention to you. Uh-oh.
You might need to go through AGG. I think that would be the best possible play for Hotshot because Osaka is caught up with Magic Squad already. The opportunities are not that much for Hotshot, honestly.
I mean, if you look at the compound right in front of Hotshot, if they just directly cross to meet Osaka, they'll just be out in the open. So the only smart maneuver for them is to take the trajectory straight towards AGG.
Yep.
And whoever is there, that's their best fight that they've got in there.
Yeah, I think AGG has to go.
Yeah.
Whether Hotshot knows that, I think it's a different question. But now Lost 21 actually just bombarded by all the nades from the side of BRU. Wasana actually goes down as well. Still not eliminated just yet though. Gonna receive help. He's gonna stand back up. Lau now in a rough spot. Drags with the Orion reset. Tries to maneuver around the members of BRU, but they have had Lau figured out. Only Mexico left alive. He's gonna start bailing into the circle. One more shot is gonna take him down already. Waiting for that opportunity. Mexico runs into a building, but I think this is the end for Loud.
Yeah, the Woodpecker was there. Decent damage. Wasana pushing on forth. Mexico trying his best to run away. And he's gonna run out of juice. Loud out in the 9th spot. Courtesy of Buriram. 11 eliminations already.
Guaranteed +3 for Hotshot. And oh no, they ran into the worst possible scenario. Spoko, MGS. Osaka is already out, so at least a +4 in terms of placement for Hotshot, but it's nowhere near enough. They need 8 more points, and how are they going to get this?
Without eliminations, they're not going to make
You need to
it.
start vouchering some points. This is the only way.
Hotshot's best opportunity now for points is over the heads of Expand. If Boko goes up against Magic Squad and Hotshot's focuses on taking out the players of Expand, the Pakistanis still do have an opportunity here.
Yeah. Good news is that they're on the edge, so they're not threatened by multiple teams.
And their edge of the map is also very quiet. They won't have anyone to contest them. So Hotshots, best time to do things. It's pretty much going to have to start very soon. If they don't start locking some heads, they might just miss out on qualifications.
Caramel says thank you to Jonah for attending this lobby. And it looks like he's not going to be making his way back in here anytime soon. EXPS looking to dispose of the whole squad of Buriram, who are at the very edge of the circle. Do you want a headshot on Moshi? And that's the best player you want to take out of the equation first.
Oh,
the
God.
sniper, Wasana
Oh,
down
God.
as well. M82B ripping through Buriram United. Moshi behind the glue wall. One more connection, but look at this. Even Stomp flying on out to beat him halfway.
I mean, if there's one round to give it the MVP, this has to be it if they get the booyah. The circle does benefit Magic. I mean, this is crunch time. Hotshot, you have to get through Magic. I mean, there's no other way, right? They have had enough time to prep. But Magic Squad has that high ground. A lot of responsibility for Anas. You need to start landing some shots. This command post is not the best place to fight on the low ground.
Oh, we've got to be so careful.
Hotshot still needs 14 points here. 18 Deer finding the claim onto stop. Dew shuts down Raz. That's for stealing 1 life away from their squad. Hotshot still alive here, but need to inch forward closer towards Magic.
Here comes the circle.
Killing spree.
Magic will not be interrupted by any other team unless Expand shows up, but Expand will be busy with Poco Stars.
And Hotshots are going to have to start moving as well. Otherwise, they take that circle damage.
Action and Anas. I mean, they're playing a very crucial role. Can you somehow sneak around the corner? You have AGG on the top side. That can be an X factor that makes or breaks Hotshot right now. They're going to make the call to go to the western side of the circle. Skirt the perimeter, but Bounce has already found one. GU secures that. The instant glue wall popped out. Sajid, you got to do something right now. I mean, Hotshot, they don't have much time left.
No, very smart action here by Action himself, but intended. Good blue walls to protect Sajid. They pick him. Sorry, good blue wall to pick up Hasu.
All right, AGG, what is the call? Is AGG maybe going to pressure Magic Squad for Hotshots? Because Magic Squad, they are at the top of that tower. They are open to being attacked.
Okay, the conditions are almost met, right? They are guaranteed top 5 in terms of placement.
Yes.
But there's not much blue walls left for Hotshot, so that's something you need to remember. Caramel is going to deal with Cobra.
Oh god, EXPS is farming the lobby here.
This could be the dream scenario. Ana shows up, puts him 3D down, but Anas gets knocked. Boss and Dew fights.
Hasu's down.
Hasu also, Hotshot needs to win this fight.
Sajid!
This is do or die. Sajid goes down. That's the third. Magic Squad might have just ended the hopes of Hotshot. So close, yet so far.
A little too far, unfortunately, and God of Wolf, those Bermuda wins really saved their lives. Magic Squad eating a little bit of sand at this point of time. EXPS, the first player in here already, and Dew, if the previous MVP was not enough, he's going to pick up yet another one for himself as long as they can secure the booyah.
And Caramel is also there, trying to be facing off against Axel as well, and Dew knows that. He's tracking He knows that there's going to be an AGG member up there. Bobs is also from Magic Squad. Who was being propped up by Axel. His penetration is going to be there. I mean, dude, just so accurate.
And Bobs actually steals that away, Magic Squad. Cheeky, EXP 16 eliminations already. And they were not kidding when they said that they were just chilling in these matches.
If this is the definition of just chill play, I don't want to see them get serious. EXPS, they're going to get the booyah, no problem. Yeah, but take your MVP, take that $10,000. Magic Squad drops EXPS with another booyah to end the day.
And EXPS finishing in that #1 spot, 6 booyahs altogether to match up to the record set by Buriram Esports. But Buriram, the best they could end up with today was, I believe, that 3rd placement. C-Triple-G didn't even play today, and they did better than Buriram.
To be fair to C-Triple-G, they did fantastic across the knockout stage. In fact, their average stats are, well, not average stats, but average points per day is actually higher than Buriram. So
yeah,
you gotta give them props also. But yeah, I mean, EXPS, what a wonderful day for them. What a finisher. Obviously, heartbreaks were witnessed. I mean, the stars almost aligned for Hotshot, right?
Almost.
They needed to win one fight. If they beat Magic Squad, they qualify.
It was all because of Magic Squad.
Too tall of a burden, a hurdle to go through.
And MIBR got knocked out of the equation pretty early, so that definitely got Hotshot a little excited. Their coach at the very least, who was definitely watching from the sidelines. But even with MIBR out in the 11th spot, it didn't mean that it was going to be a free ticket for Hotshot. They really needed to earn it. Unfortunately, they just couldn't hustle enough.
Remember what we talked about early on, me and you, AJ? That if Hotshot finds AGG and take their spot, I think this is qualification, right? That is straight up qualification. But unfortunately, they made the call to go into command center.
Yeah.
And it ran to Magic Squad. That was a brick wall. You have to go through them. I think it was do or die.
And that was a surprising move, right? Because Kalahari is supposed to read their map. They should have had a great read on it. They should know that that was just way too open of a ground to kind of traverse through. And they literally took that risk. They weren't punished for that, but Magic Squad ended up catching them.
This was kind of like the final moments of Hotshot. Again, if they wipe Magic Squad, they're guaranteed 4th place, but they will also have 5 points.
Yeah.
So you don't have to finish 3rd to qualify, right? It is actually pretty crazy how close they were. But nonetheless, I think for Pakistan as a region, we say that this is the closest they've ever gotten to a grand finals. They didn't qualify, but this could be something good, a good notion for next year, right?
It could be a really good sign. So I think for the teams of Pakistan, they've got to be very excited. They can see that they are so close,
So
but next year, I think
man.
it is a sign they will make that comeback happen.
I feel bad for them because they
very
just
bad.
got this close. But unfortunately, too many of those lobbies were let go a little prematurely. And if they had done whatever they did on today's day of play in the first week, whereby not really focus on those engagements, but just purely focus on their positioning within the final circle, and clearly they're capable of doing that, we would see a totally different story for Pakistan right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the same thing, right? They know how to find the circle.
Yes,
they really do. That's something I think that's a pro part, I think, for the Pakistani teams.
Yeah. Well, looks like we have an interview, so let's see what our winners have to say.
It was an insane final match, and we got our final winner right here. Welcome, EXP Esports once again. Congratulations. You are still on top of the MVP leaders and have over 100 knockdowns so far. How did you do that?
ตอนนี้เราเป็นท็อป MVP ใน Leaderboard แล้วแถมเรายังได้น็อกดาวน์100 ครั้งทำได้ไงคะ
คนในทีมสอนแล้วก็โค้ชสอนครับก็เลยได้100น็อกดาวน์
My friend and my coach taught me to do that.
Wow, credit to the team and to the coach, right? And I have to ask you this, who is better between you and Moshi from Buriram United Esports, and why?
คิดว่าใครเก่งกว่ากันระหว่างตัวเราเองกับโมชิจากบุรีรัมย์คะ
น่าจะโมชิครับเพราะว่าโมชิเขาได้ MVP ลูกแล้วก็แบบมีช็อตไฮไลท์เฉิดตลอดเลยครับผมสู้ไม่ได้ครับเขาโหดเกิน
I think Moshi is better than me because he once become the P5 World Series MVP, but I haven't got it once.
Right, but I heard from on the Glory video that you said that last week didn't have your highlight. Are you certain that this week we're gonna have to see your highlights on the Glory video again?
ในวิดีโอ On the Glory Series อะค่ะเราได้บอกว่าไม่เห็นมีไฮไลท์ของผมเลยคิดว่ารอบนี้เราจะมีไฮไลท์ของตัวเองไหม
น่าจะมีสัก1ไฮไลท์ครับ
I think I will have one highlight.
One highlight, right? And anything you'd like to say to Thai fans who are rooting for you?
ฝากข้อความถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยหน่อยค่ะ
พวกผมเข้ารอบไฟนอลนะครับ เดี๋ยวรอบชิงเดี๋ยวผมทำให้เต็มที่ที่สุดครับ
Finally I made it to the grand final I will do my best in the grand final
Congratulations and see you in the final เจอกันในรอบ final นะคะ Amazing performance by everyone and congratulations to the 12 team that made it into the final and that's a wrap guys we conclude another thrilling day in the knockout stage of Free Fire World Series until next week happy gaming everyone bye bye
That is right. We have our top 12 teams locked in for the grand final weekend next weekend. Gentlemen, I am so excited. We've had some teams make it through with flying colors, others scrape on by. We've got some amazing storylines to work with next week as well. But is there anyone that you're a bit surprised that made it to the grand final weekend?
Not at all. I think
No?
everybody deserved their spots. I mean, even GOW, some may say that they accidentally got through because today they didn't play, and then a lot of teams kind of got into these skirmishes, which was just truly unfortunate for them. But GOW earned that, right? I mean, we saw them, not dominate the competition, but do very well on Bermuda. And they were not the best team out there when you compare them against some of these top dogs. So they really earned their spot in the top 12.
I think you can say the day one performance of GOW was probably their best.
Yes.
And it was just enough.
Yeah.
Right. So it definitely feels a bit bad, I think, for some of these teams. A lot of people will look at GOW and be like, man, if these guys don't redeem themselves in the grand finals, maybe there's going to be words coming their way. But I guess they made it. That's good for them, right? They have a lot to prove.
It only looks like that because GOW is not playing today. But if they were playing today and the points had been this close, we would kind of be hyping them up even more than Hotshot, right? So, I mean, it's the grouping kind of thing. GOW, fancy stuff. But I am a little bit sad for Hotshot though. We thought this was going to be the first time ever that Pakistan makes it, but unfortunately, they have no one else to, blame except themselves. There were a couple of those rounds, a couple of those lobbies where they could have done so much more better, especially on week one where they were getting into these early skirmishes. And I guess, you do it once, you do it twice, it's all right, but they just kept doing it the whole day, even when it was clearly not going their way.
Yeah, and I think for Hotshot, it's also previous years when we see their region, like Pakistan, on the world stage, they've always been kind of like the arena gets brushed aside, right? We see them as, feeders for a lot of the stronger teams. But I think right now they're definitely not dead last, so that's something to be proud about. It's not too big of an achievement, but I hope that the Pakistan players, right, the teams, they look back at this moment and realize that they were that close. And maybe just one more year, maybe next year will be it.
Yeah, and it's not a skill issue. It was just an unfortunate series of decision making that went south for them. But let's look at the elimination leaders. If the previous match MVP didn't satisfy us, Husky, I think this match definitely
100%.
Puts the cherry on top of the cake. You earned this 10 eliminations. Nobody can argue. He is the MVP and he deserves the $10,000 US.
There's no more robbery this time. This time he earned it fair and square.
He did earn it.
He earned it for this one and the previous game as well.
Yeah, he did 2 games at once, all right? And Dew is that good. How do you catch up to this man?
Look, he's basically giving himself a head start for next week. So he's happy. Are we not supposed to have 3 MVP points for Gio?
Okay.
But it's all right. I mean, either way, he's not going to win the 10 games.
I know, but at least I want to see someone else with a different number, okay?
I actually have a question, right? By the way, okay, before that, man, I didn't expect Caramel to run the Steffi. We have not seen this in a long, long time. But also, since Point Rush is expected to be a more passive game mode, how do you select the MVP?
I don't think you get MVPs in Point Rush.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
We will find out.
I think MVPs only on the final day where eliminations are there. But look at this, man. Damage out of you. 6,141. Guy was insane in the membrane. 17 knockdowns.
Didn't he do more damage than his teammates combined?
He did everything.
He did everything.
Who needs teammates, right?
He got more knockdowns than potentially the whole of Buriram or Expand.
Yeah. Crazy. All right.
Definitely more than Expand.
100%. He has more knockdowns than Expand total points combined.
He has got more knockdowns than Expand Poco as well as Hotshot.
Yes.
Come on.
Guaranteed.
Of course.
Guaranteed.
All right,
Of course,
we're gonna
guaranteed.
soon gonna end it there. Okay, this is our game standings for the last game of the day, and we are going to show the overall standings next to show the 12 teams that have qualified, and at the same time to show the 6 teams that we will not be seeing next week because unfortunately we had to cut things down from 18 to 12.
Hey.
Here are the top 6 teams
Oh, yeah.
that are qualified for the grand final.
I mean, it's crazy. Buriram won second place because they got 3 more booyahs than C Triple G overall. But God of Wolf made it, you know, it's 177 was just enough. You can say the
Just
same for
nice.
PE Sports, like 182, not too far ahead. Oh.
Vietnam as a region must be ecstatic right now. All 3 of their teams making it through, including God of Wolf, that was the underdog that might have not scraped through,
Look
right?
at this, Harsha just needed 7 points.
I know,
Was it
man.
7 or 6?
I was harping on
Seven.
the. I was harping on the 14. They walk away with 7. They leave the other 7 hanging up in the air. Unfortunate. MIBR. You know, at least Brazil does have 2 other representatives. You know, other teams like Osaka, Furious, WASK, All
There we go.
Glory, MIBR.
7 points.
Unfortunate for them. But of course, this is exactly what I've been waiting for ever since the end of week number 1. Our top 12, because it's now point rush time, baby. But unfortunately, we'll have to wait until next week, Friday.
And I think all these regions can be proud of themselves. Right? Like
Oh,
Mina,
yeah.
right? This is also the first few times we see them. But yeah, thank you Hotshot, MIBR, All
Yeah.
Glory Gaming, Osaka, Furious Gaming, WASK. It's been a pleasure to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
they've defied expectations for sure. Osaka got a booyah for themselves, and you might not even remember that.
Yeah.
But this is also the first time that MCPS has a team that qualified for the finals
Yep.
from knockouts, right? Just
Yeah.
like AJ brought up early on. So this is also a kind of a historical moment.
All the Indonesian teams making it through as well, and no prizes here if you were guessing that the Thai teams were going to make it through as well. Thailand has always been known as the best region when it comes to the Free Fire game as a whole. And you know, when Orn asked the question earlier on, like, you know, what makes you think that Thailand is the best region? You know, all Buriram needed to do is just whip out both of the championships.
They could just
both of the
lift
cups.
one
I don't
trophy
think
in each
they can.
hand.
I don't think they can. Those are pretty heavy trophies.
Now, here are our top 12 teams that are going to be going to the grand final and the point rush stage next weekend. We are
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be starting things off on Friday as usual, then Saturday, and of course, Sunday, we will be crowning our champion for 2023. I'm super excited. Is it going to be Buriram again? Will it be another team from Thailand? Or will another region take that crown for themselves? That's the big question.
I mean, I hate to sound boring, but I think the 3 Thai teams are in contention for that, right?
Pretty
No,
yeah.
I disagree.
No?
There's
Okay.
just no way of telling. For the first time ever, we have got something called Point Rush. Now, in Point Rush, eliminations, they don't matter. Only placement points matter because you can only earn placement points. And it's, if you hit that booyah, if you are the final team, you only walk away with 8, okay? So there's not a lot to collect. Everybody has to strive for this. But of course, we'll have to wait for next week, Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the end of the knockout stages. We'll see you guys for week 3.